Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the American Bank Center here in Corpus Christi, Texas. You're listening to IceRays Hockey on HockeyTV.com and on YouTube, the second-to-last game of the 2017-18 regular season with the Pack the House weekend beginning tonight. My name is Alex Von Koidel. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. Well, last weekend was an odd one, to be sure. The team went from scoring 6 goals one night to 0 the following night. Not once this season has there been that large of a discrepancy in offensive production between games, but the important repercussion from that series is this. The IceRays are now locked in to what they know to be their fourth playoff seed in the South Division. They will be squaring off against the Shreveport Mudbugs next weekend. Games 1 and 2 will be next Friday and Saturday night, April 13th and 14th. Unfortunate fun fact about what happened the last time the IceRays had a game on Friday the 13th. It was in Shreveport, and they would lose that game 7-0. However, they would respond the following day, back on October 14th, with a 5-2 decisive victory over the first-place Mudbugs. So the Rays and the Bugs will be squaring off games 1 and 2 up at George's Pond next weekend. But for now, the focus is on tonight. Even though there aren't necessarily any playoff implications for either side in tonight's game, it's still not one that Brad Flynn and company are going to be taking lightly. You'll hear from the IceRays head coach during the first intermission of tonight's game. The matchup tonight, both the IceRays and the Lone Star Brahmas were riding out a solid winning streak up until last weekend. The Rays had won 4 straight, including a road sweep over the first-place Mudbugs. Lone Star had collected 10 consecutive victories until they were beaten in overtime in Shreveport. But even so, the Brahmas are on a 12-game point streak, which the IceRays can potentially snap this weekend with a regulation victory. On the season, the Rays have fared quite well against Lone Star, recording a 5-4-1 head-to-head record against them. They've pitched a goal differential of 26-33. They've beaten them in 4 of their last 6 matchups. It's an important game tonight for a couple of players, one of whom will be starting tonight. The starting lineups for the Brahmas are as follows. It's going to be Justin Adamo with Aiden Spellacy and Julian Biondo, a trio of Dan Wildfong veterans and Robertson Cup champions for the Brahmas. Those 3 will be starting to set the tone here in this penultimate game of the 2017-18 regular season. On defense, the University of Alabama Huntsville commit Drew Lennon alongside the future RPI engineer Kyle Hallbauer. In net, their number 1 goaltender Mitchell Gibson is being given a break this evening. Harrison Feeney gets the nod to start. The Lafayette Hill, Pennsylvania native. He'll be in net tonight for Lone Star. As for the IceRays, Jason Demizio getting the start at left wing alongside the Mankato, Minnesota native Grayson Gavin, who got into his first fight as an IceRay last weekend against the Odessa Jackalopes. The Tufts University commit, where he'll be heading next season, Angus Scott, who's wearing the number 9 for the IceRays, heads out there to join his line mate Grayson Gavin, the two of whom have established pretty good chemistry. Ryan Rosenberg, who also just made his Division III college commitment to SUNY Fredonia in New York, will be alongside Blake Coffey tonight on right defense. And in net, this is quite the story, folks. Will Tragge, who has never played a game in the North American Hockey League or any junior league before, has been given the green light to go tonight for Brad Flynn and the IceRays. This season, Will Tragge has played all of his games up at Livonia Stevenson High School, where he's been one of the best high school goaltenders in the entire state. It's a suburb of Detroit, and he's been outstanding this season. Will Tragge for Livonia Stevenson High, playing in 23 games up there. Very impressive, 1.8 goals against average and a .926 save percentage. The ceremonial puck drop, brought to you by UniFirst, will take place here momentarily at the ABC. In the meantime, we're going to take a brief commercial timeout on the IceRays Broadcast Network. We'll be back in a moment, folks. Don't go anywhere. The Thrifty Nickel is home of the Guaranteed to Sell classified ads, covering all Corpus Christi communities within a 75-mile radius. Place your personal classified with us, and if it hasn't sold in 4 weeks, we'll run it for free until it sells. Visit us in the Gulfway Shopping Center or give us a call at 361-980-0008 or online at cc.thriftynickel.com. Thrifty Nickel, where you get nationwide coverage with hometown service.
lose weight, get fit, or just improve your overall fitness? Then train with a professional at Sports Fitness Solutions. Former IceRays player and current team strength and conditioning coach Jeff Pelucio can help you reach your goals with a specific program built just for you. Choose from one-on-one or group training sessions. Sports Fitness Solutions can help you lose weight, increase energy, build muscle, and get you feeling better today. Call Jeff with Sports Fitness Solutions today at 774-0874. That's 774-0874. And train like the IceRays do.
Along with your favorite IceRays wherever you go by linking up to the IceRays social media arsenal. There are more ways to follow the action than ever before with pictures, news, videos, and exclusive content, including interviews and giveaways. Give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at Corpus Christi IceRays, and on Twitter, Vine, Periscope, and now Snapchat at Go IceRays. The IceRays social media arsenal, the ultimate coverage of IceRays hockey.
It's the luxury of bayfront living at Sendera Bay Point. Located on Enos Jocelyn Road, Sendera Bay Point is newly renovated with upgraded units featuring granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and designer lighting. Enjoy an on-site masseuse, waterfront yoga classes, water aerobics, fitness boot camps, poolside towel service, Saturday morning homemade resident breakfast, and of course, stunning bay views. Visit SenderaBayPoint.com for more details. Mention this ad for a waived application fee. That's SenderaBayPoint.com. Radiology and Imaging is the official imaging center of your IceRays. The Best of the Best award winner 7 years in a row provides diagnostic imaging services in a caring, comforting patient environment with leading-edge imaging technology. Their extensive expertise in medical imaging allows them to not only give physicians and patients the very best in service and care, but your IceRays as well. So the next time you need imaging done, call Radiology and Imaging at 853-4503. That's 853-4503. Villa Apartments offers its residents a prime location that leaves you minutes away from shopping, entertainment, restaurants, and beaches. Residents will discover a life of splendor with 2 pools, a workout facility, outdoor grilling needs, along with comfortable apartments located just minutes from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Island Villa Apartments are located off SBID and Nile Drive. Call Island Villa Apartments today at 994-1630 and set up your personal tour. 994-1630. Island Villa Apartments.
Job well done by Kayla Kurapati, singing our country's national anthem to get these folks riled up one last time for what promises to be a battle here in the penultimate game of the 2017-18 season. IceRays Brahmas in what will be their second-to-last matchup. Tomorrow, of course, will be their final. And on the season, the IceRays against Lone Star, a 5-4-1 record. But in particular, bad blood between these teams, not just because of the hostilities and the rivalry that has been this season between them, but in years past. Lone Star, of course, the team that did eliminate the IceRays last year in the South Division Finals. It went all the way to the overtime of the decisive Game 5. And it was a 1-0 final score. That was as tight as they come. And the IceRays playoffs hopes were dashed by an overtime goal scored by Troy York on Tomas Vamachka. Ever since then, this rivalry, folks, has hit a new peak, and it will be put on full display tonight. A lot of the best players on both of these teams will not be in the lineups because this game doesn't necessarily have any playoff implications. Win or lose, it really won't make a difference in terms of the positioning or the seeding in the postseason. So players like Riley St. Ange, Matt Acioli, Pavel Koreshkov, and others given a rest tonight for Corpus Christi. Dan Wildfong and his scratches, Jakub Sirota, Stephen Ipri, John Russell, and Connor Pooley. This first period of IceRays hockey is brought to you by First Title Company. Thanks so much for joining us, folks, on the IceRays Broadcast Network. We hope you're enjoying your Friday night. Jason Amizio picks up the puck and is crunched by Julian Biondo, the Brahmas captain. Good early first check by Dan Wildfong's squad, and Will Tragge, for the first time in an IceRays uniform, gets his stick on the puck behind his own net. It's dropped off to Justin Adamo, the 6'6" Frenchman. Will carry it into the near corner. He's stymied by Grayson Gavin. The puck squeaks loose, and Blake Coffey will hack it out of his own zone. Actually never reached the blue line. It fluttered over to Mizio's glove, and on the second effort, he has cleared it out to center. We'll get to our Ed Hicks Nissan 3 keys of tonight's game in just a moment. The referee for tonight is Bobby Esposito. The linesmen are Cam Dykstra and Kyle Larson. Ryan Rosenberg fetches it behind his own net, drops it off the backboards. It bounces right to Blake Coffey, who will fling it out of his own zone, bounces over the stick of Miller and all the way down. Icing being waved off as it's played behind the net. Turnaround shot by Youngworth is on, and Harrison Feeney has just made his first save. Youngworth picks up the puck near half wall, finds Wilhelm wide open, right circle, will fire off the blocker of Feeney. The rebound bounces all the way up to the Dairy Queen logo at the right point. Adam Kadlik twists it back into the Brahma zone, and Drew Lennon will wedge it up to Bottrell, who fails to clear it. Good keep from the left point. Yanni's long shot redirects just wide. Connor Yanni, the Dillard's March Player of the Month, and what a month he had. Went on an 8-game point streak in the middle of the month of March, and an 8-game point streak, which included 10 points throughout that span. And has just rocketed up in the assist column this season for the IceRays. Drew Lennon able to work it up to Owen Ferris. Was checked off balance, lost the puck, and Dakota Kincannon gets his stick in the fray to try to move it. The other number 19, Tour Linden, the RPI commit, ends up with it and springs Ferris down the left wing side. Owen Ferris, the Vancouver, British Columbia native. Yanni taps it back to Trevor Wilhelm, who will work it up. Scrap takes place far half wall near the IceRays bench. We still haven't had our first whistle yet in this game. Trevor Zenas kicks it down into the left corner. Near the Alliance logo, he turns with it, centers for Montembeau, whose shot is blocked. Dakota Kincannon having gotten his stick in the shooting lane. 3 keys of tonight's game for the IceRays. Number 1, cleaning up rebounds. We saw how well they did that last weekend, 2 weekends ago when they were in Shreveport. Despite being heavily outshot by the Shreveport Mudbugs in Game 2, they were able to come away with a narrow 3-1 win, the final goal being scored on a Brendan Miller empty net goal. But the reason the IceRays, the biggest reason they were able to win that game was because they allowed 54 shots, but most of them were from the perimeter, were from low percentage scoring areas, and the IceRays just did an outstanding job of cleaning up loose pucks and getting bodies and sticks in the way, not really giving Chad Veltri any rebound headaches to deal with. And if the IceRays can do that tonight for Will Tragge, then they will set him up for success without question. Far half wall, they battle away. Novo will turn it towards the net. It's blocked by Drew Lennon, and he will slip one up to Michael Montembeau. Gallops his way across the IceRays blue line, and Kyle Larson has just called the Brahmas on an offside. That offside whistle has been brought to you by Ad Lions. 3 minutes into the contest, no score. IceRays with a pair of shots on goal. Number 2, disrupting Lone Star's breakouts. They're a team that gets the puck out of their own zone very effectively. It doesn't take them long. They've got a lot of good puck-moving defensemen, and if they're not pressured, then they will make the best play possible 99 times out of 100. The IceRays have got to get in there and muddle things up for Lone Star, make life hectic getting out of their own zone. And number 3, keeping up the creativity. We saw what the IceRays did last Friday night, 1 week ago today, against the Odessa Jackalopes. When they had all hands on deck, they scored 6 goals and weren't able to score again on Saturday night, which is really the first time that's happened all year. Lone Star has just cleared the puck directly out of play off the protective netting behind Will Tragge's net. These 3 keys of the game have been brought to you by Ed Hicks Nissan. 3 players playing in a very emotional game, you could say, tonight. Tyler Love, of course, the IceRays tender from Moon Township, Pennsylvania, just outside of Pittsburgh, having played for the U18 Pens. Good buddies with Brian Kramer, who debuted for the IceRays last weekend. Wearing the number 13 tonight. You'll hear from him in the second intermission of tonight's game. Will Tragge, of course, like we mentioned earlier, and Bud Winter, who just played with the St. Louis Junior Blues, lost in the NA3HL Fraser Cup Championship game to the Metro Jets, and former IceRays head coach Justin Quenville. Puck's outletted up the left wing side. Garrett Harford drives one behind the opposing net and heads to the IceRays bench, joined by Blake Coffey, who's replaced by Wilhelm. Harford replaced by Gavin, as Tour Linden picks it up behind his own goal line and passes one off the skates of Justin Adamo. Tour Linden with 10 assists in as many games played against the IceRays this season. He's a very dangerous playmaker, though 2 of his main counterparts who can really put the puck in the net have been responsible for his upsurge in assists this season. John Russell, Stephen Ippery not available for Dan Wildfong here this weekend. Oh, and then a big body check is delivered far half wall. Lone Star is going to be guilty of a boarding or perhaps a check from behind. And I'm looking to see which IceRays that is. That is down. Bud Winter helping him up. I can see that right now. It looks like that's Angus Scott. Looks like Angus is all right. We know he's a tough kid. He's going to gut it out. In the meantime, when we come back, the IceRays will go to their first AEP Texas Power Play of the game. Till then, please enjoy some words from our sponsors, Get Air.
Christie's newest place for fun. 30,000 square feet of trampoline park with foam pits, slam ball, a ninja course, and dodge foam. A place to let your inner spirit soar. Show you've got game. Harness your inner ninja and burn up the competition. For parties from 5 to 500, kids, corporate, and adult team building, it's the #1 place for fun in Corpus Christi. Get out. Get active. Get air. 4701 South Staple Street in Corpus Christi.
So the IceRays to the man advantage here for the first time tonight. They were not able to convert. It has been red hot, or it had been, I should say, throughout the month of March. The IceRays power play had by far had its best month of the season. As Blake Coffey quarterbacks things from the point, it's swung over to Grayson Gavin above the right circle. Coffey will get it right back and hold on. Gavin from the top of the right circle feeds it back to the adjacent corner and gets the return pass. Puts it off the stick of Larry Youngworth, who was screening Harrison Feeney. Grayson Gavin shifted right, moved left to buy some separation away from Tour Linden. And the former Lincoln Star will now set up shop in the middle to defend the upcoming play. Gavin will try to send it up to Coffey. Linden was there, Johnny on the spot to interrupt it. He will skate it down the right side, going wide on Blake Coffey. He twists with it, goes down to a knee, and feeds it behind Will Tragge's net. Youngworth will collect it. Larry Youngworth to Cadlick, left wing side. Former Windsor Spitfire puts it behind the Lone Star net. Jason Amizio wins possession of the puck, but his pass was just off the mark. Coffey's got to go back to get it. He wanted to hop onto the bench and be replaced by Wilhelm, but nobody would have been back had he done that. Coffey making the smart play. And he will drop it now for Trevor Wilhelm, whose mother's in attendance tonight from St. Louis. Wilhelm through center ice. Gains the Brahmas zone and fires it wide of the right post. Trevor Wilhelm having scored a game-winning overtime goal from a spot similar to that against the Topeka Roadrunners back on Veterans Day. Yanni, the cross-ice pass that was intended for Cadlick, or rather Scott, who twists with it. Scott feeds it down to the goal line. Garrett Harford is there. Up to the top again, Wilhelm with a D-to-D pass to Yanni, back to Wilhelm on the return. 22 seconds remain on this AEP Texas power play. Halford, side of the net. Demizio's one-timer goes high. Skitters off the glass, stays in play, but it bounces out to center. Wilhelm will have to reorganize. A dozen seconds remain on this power play. Scott crosses over the Lone Star line. Leaves it for Demizio, who springs Halford. Halford trying to skate in down the slot. He will shoot. Blocked. Gets a second chance. Again, it was blocked. And Tyler Love will try to drill one back to Halford. Demizio finished his check, and the puck goes out of play. So we get a whistle stopping play. Lone Star has just improved to 1-for-1 on their penalty kill tonight. Lone Star's penalty kill always deadly. We know that year after year they're one of the better defensive teams in the North American Hockey League. They do not give up a lot of goals, which tends to be pretty closely associated with a strong penalty kill. And this year's been no exception. They're fourth best in the North American Hockey League, an 85.6% conversion rate. Noah Roof beaten on the draw by Aiden Spellacy. Lone Star's got its veteran line out there, which for the most part has been dissipated. Dan Wildfong, somebody who likes to change up players on the fly. Aiden Spellacy, when he started this game, was surrounded by Adamo and Biondo. Now he's got a pair of new line mates, Austin Bottrell and Owen Ferris. Rosenberg will pursue it near half wall. Advances it. And Bottrell picks it up at the red line and flings it back in. The majority of Will Tragge's touches on the puck in this game have been behind his own net, and so far he's made the right play every time. Tyler Love's pass just off the mark. He intended it to go to Novo. Connor Stewart backpedaling in his own zone. Pass out to Owen Ferris, who redirects it into IceRays territory. 7 minutes into the first period, no score at the American Bank Center. This is game 1 of 2 of the final regular season home series of the campaign. Stewart, the former Odessa Jackalope and alternate captain for Dan Wildfung this season. Leaves it to Drew Lennon. And Tour Linden gets past Bud Winter, storms over the blue line, leaves it on the right side, gets the return pass. Tried to slip one through the crease. It was cut off by Will Tragge, who sealed the near side post. Now it's Biondo feeding one over right point. Connor Stewart, right circle. His shot blocked by Kalen Taylor, who jams it aside, but Biondo swats it back down behind the net. Tour Linden's got it. Bud Winter intercepts his pass. It floated into his glove, and here he comes. Winter will chip one into the right corner and go in after it himself. Stewart to impede its progress and roll one around the half wall counterclockwise. Linden again was stymied by Bud Winter. And Connor Stewart will reset. Biondo with a bit of an overskate left it for Linden, and here he comes with it. Outnumbered near the end of a shift, but that won't stop him from buying some time. Linden spins with it. Grayson Gavin pestering him and jamming the puck up to Youngworth, who is checked by Chase Pletsky, the Bowling Green commit. Grayson Gavin, the former Fairbanks Ice Dog, lost possession. Kyle Hallbauer on the breakout. Angled it off the half wall. Emac Bentley accelerates it up to Michael Montembeau, who shovels one across the crease, but to no avail. Rosenberg has hacked it out. Hallbauer regrouping. Kyle Hallbauer, the Brahmas' top scoring defenseman this season with 32 points. Wyatt Matthews, the ex-Wichita Falls Wildcat, turned over in front of the net. Kadlick with a backhand shot, and he scores! Adam Kadlick, the recipient of a beautiful pass from behind the Lone Star goal. If I'm not mistaken, it was Larry Youngworth. Brendan Miller was in the vicinity, and Adam Kadlick put it onto his backhand. Cleanly beat Harrison Feeney, blocker side, and has given the IceRays a 1-0 lead. Kadlick's second goal is an IceRay. Youngworth forcing the turnover. It was actually Miller who picked up the loose puck and centered. Give Youngworth a secondary assist for making that turnover happen. Miller getting in there, finding the loose puck between all those skates and bodies, and fed one into the low slot. Adam Kadlick with time and space to make his move, and he made no mistake. First goal on Pack the House weekend, scored by Adam Kadlick. Former Windsor Spitfire, former Prince Albert Raider, and Sioux City Musketeer. Tyler Love in the neutral zone. Over to Ryan Rosenberg. It's redirected by Garrett Harford behind Harrison Feeney's net. He's out of it to wrap one around. McCary trying to seal the boards. It bounces away from him, and Trezera will augment one up to Aiden Spellacy, the Lone Star veteran. Unable to get past Tyler Love with possession of the puck. It's been cleared directly out of play. I think the linesmen are saying it took a deflection, so the faceoff will stay in the IceRays zone. We're approaching the midway point of period 1. 10:30 to go in the first. 1-0 your score. Adam Kadlick having just buried one for Corpus Christi, his second goal on the year. For those of you wondering what these orange jerseys are all about, the IceRays will be auctioning them tomorrow night at the bottom of section 112. Proceeds will go to benefit No Kid Hungry. Orange and gray, the colors of No Kid Hungry. Last season, the IceRays wearing gray with orange trim. This season, orange with gray trim, gray and white trim. And these jerseys, again, will be auctioned at a live auction at the bottom of section 112 following tomorrow night's game, with proceeds benefiting No Kid Hungry. The blowout takes place in the far corner. Owen Ferris flips one out to neutral territory, but Terrell gets one to Linden, who fires, goes off the backboard's glass, side of the net, they score. Takes a very fortunate bounce for Lone Star. Linden's shot went over Tragge. It bounced off the backboard glass and bounced right off of one of the stanchions to the left side of the net. And Will Tragge wasn't sure where the puck had landed, and you can't blame him. That was a very fluky and fortunate bounce for Lone Star. Austin Bottrell, give him credit for not giving up. He spotted it right off that carom, and Tragge just didn't know where the puck was bouncing. It's a tough first goal to give up. They gave the assist to Owen Ferris. I think they confused 91 with 19. It was Tour Linden who took the initial shot. And now he's got 11 assists in as many games played against the IceRays this season. He's been something of an IceRays killer in his own right, though he's still not scored a goal against them. Anton Sandberg rolls one up to Justin Adamo. His pass between the stick and the skates of Montembeault. Tragge halts it once again behind his own net. We're seeing the Brahmas over and over again dumping the puck. They're not entering the zone really with possession because they want to test Will Tragge. They want to force him to move. They want to force him to make a mistake. They know he's playing in his first NAHL game tonight, and they're trying to either force him to turn it over or rim one around to the point where he comes out and overplays it or underplays it. And so far, it's not cost the IceRays yet. Lone goal Lone Star scored, came off of a wrist shot that went over the net and bounced off the backboards right to Austin Bottrell as Tragge kicks out the right pad to make a point save. Zenas, bottom of the right circle, turned it off the side of the near post. And a penalty's going to be called here against Corpus Christi. It's Jimmy back from Spelsey to the line again, kicking out the right pad, making the save, Will Tragge, but his team will be going to the sin bin. And the IceRays for the first time tonight will be shorthanded. Shout out to Norma Hernandez on being nominated tonight's Castro's Flowers Shop Sweetheart of the Game. We might be headed to our second first period media timeout. It looks like that is the case. So we're going to take a 30-second timeout on the IceRays Broadcast Network. When we come back, the Rays will be to the PK for the first time tonight. 1-1 your score. We'll be back in a moment.
Cell phones.
We're unable to take your call at the moment. Please leave your name, number, and a brief
When time is money and the message is urgent, you need two-way radio.
Unit 5, return to yard immediately.
Safe, reliable, distracted, driver-legal two-way radio from A&B Communications with built-in fleet tracking.
Units 14 and 22 assist Unit 5 at well site 108.
Hand units, vehicle-mounted base stations, fleet tracking, on-site or wide-area communications for business. Online at abcom.net. That's abcomm.net. When you need to
Talk business.
A couple of aces for their respective teams on the face-off circle this season. Tour Linden, Garrett Harford. This time it was won by Linden as Kimball Johnson, the Texas-born defenseman near the Sit-Go logo, will swing one up to the top of the left circle. Linden's got it there. Likes to take his time and wait for the perfect play. Tried to filter one across circle to circle. Bounces right to Johnson. Kimball Johnson sends one off the backboards. Taylor guns it down. Met by Montembeault in the corner. Halford sends it back in Taylor's direction, who twists and turns. Connor Yanni gets it and flings it down the length of the ice. This IceRays penalty kill is brought to you by Republic Services. 8 minutes to play in the first period. 1-1 your score. Goals scored by Adam Kadlick and Austin Bottrell in that order. Minute 12 remain on this Lone Star power play. Montembeault had Lennon accelerate past him, went to Johnson instead, who elects to feed it down the adjacent half wall. Austin Bottrell on the return pass to Johnson. Looks for a shooting lane, decides to get rid of it. Lennon will give it back to him. Johnson cycles it over. Bottrell down to the goal line for Montembeault. Brahma's alternate captain, pretty recently named so. Lennon, Johnson, Montembeault again. Johnson will unleash a one-timer. It was blocked by Grayson Gavin. First man standing in its path. Miller picks it up in the corner and flings it down the length of the ice. Brendan Miller, since these teams last met, has doubled his total goals this season. He's been on an absolute tear. Brendan Miller has scored 11 goals since these teams last meeting back in February. Since then, the IceRays have played 14 games. Demizio chasing it down with a shorthanded chance. He shoots, he scores! Jason Demizio going 5-hole on Harrison Feeney has just scored a shorthanded goal to regain the IceRays lead. It's 2-1. That's Jason Demizio's first shorthanded goal of the season. Overall, his 13th. Penalty time was winding down. Just 8 seconds remain on it. And talk about killing your first penalty with aplomb. The IceRays have done that and then some. And a shorthanded goal that's been scored by somebody other than Brendan Miller. How about that? Goaltenders, they often spend so much time worrying about shooters picking the corners, going upper 90, beating them over the glove of the blocker. Oftentimes they forget that there's a little gap between their skates. And Jason Demizio didn't forget. Buried it right through the 5-hole, and the Rays up 2-1. 6 minutes remain in the first period. IceRays are doubling the Brahmas in both shots and goals. 8-4 to the former, 2-1 to the latter. Bud Winter lifting the stick of Aiden Spellacy. Spellacy motoring down the left half wall. He was stopped by Tyler Love, and here comes Angus Scott down the right side. He will drive it wide on Drew Lennon, and center one hoping to get it to Gavin. It was picked off. Frankie Trezera outlets one ahead up to Owen Ferris. Trevor Zenas, the former Odessa Jackalope. Was traded last season for Levi Wonder. Halfway through the campaign or so. Drew Lennon smashed hard into the corner boards by Dakota Kincannon. He will jab at it in front of his own bench, trying to move one past the blue line. He succeeds. Lone Star will reorganize. 5 1/4 to go in the first period. The IceRays have just regained their lead, courtesy of a Jason Demizio shorthanded goal through the 5-hole of Harrison Feeney. He's not played a whole heck of a lot against the IceRays this season. A 1-3-0 record, and 2.03 goals against average, and .895 save percentage. Oddly enough, his numbers against the IceRays on the campaign have been better than Mitchell Gibson, who's really, the IceRays have been the only team that's been able to really give Mitchell Gibson difficulties on a consistent basis. Gibson right now leading the entire North American Hockey League with a .934 save percentage, the Harvard commit. Here's Linden moving in, shooting, big save by Will Tragge, his first big stop as an IceRay. And he denied Tur Linden, which would have been his first goal as a Brahma against Corpus Christi this season. Pletzky moves it up to Kimball Johnson, quickly dishes it back. Pletzky had some trouble with it, but managed to rescue it just in the nick of time. Linden behind the opposing net. Bentley's got it there. Tragge covering the near side post and sealing it. Emac Bentley bouncing one back in the direction of Linden, intercepted and cleared between the two defensemen. Connor Stewart. 4 minutes remain in the first period. 2-1 Corpus Christi. Stewart is flushed out from behind his own net by Youngworth. Kimball Johnson has just iced the puck. Kimball Johnson, native of the Dallas suburbs, Denton, Texas, his hometown, was a shootout hero against the IceRays earlier this season in this building. Back on Saturday, November 18th. Ensuing faceoff will take place to Harrison Feeney's glove side. Adam Cadlick, who opened the scoring tonight, will take the draw. Youngworth with a bit of a mishandle right off the faceoff, and Buttrell will secure possession in front of his own bench. Connor Stewart up to Biondo. Spirits one ahead, hoping to get it to Buttrell just outside of his reach. Austin Buttrell, Lone Star's lone goal scorer this evening. He's been red hot as well, folks. Has had a very good goal scoring stick, Austin Buttrell, over the last few weeks. Scored 12 points, 5 goals, 7 assists in his last 7 games. Montembeau dropping it off, Biondo right circle. The shot, kick save by Will Tragge, who fired out his right leg to make another pad stop. Youngworth down the right side on the counterattack. Has Cadlick on his left, can't find a way to filter it through for him. Connor Stewart rubbed him off the puck. Here comes Montembeau on a potential 2-on-1. Yanni hustling back. Montembeau with a shot, blocked. And Rosenberg has cleared it, but that shot stung him. And the IceRays get a 3-on-1 in transition. Halford fed one over. McCary gets it. One pass too many there, I think. Julian McCary trying to make the selfless play and give his line mate a tap-in goal. None to be had. Jason Demizio didn't quite have it in his wheelhouse there. McCary with a good pass over to Tyler Love, whose shot tipped on goal, stopped by Feeney. Nice shot placement by Tyler Love. He put it in an area at which Garrett Harford could have redirected it, and it nearly went through Feeney's 5-hole again. No icing here. It's being waved off. Lennon will have to make a play on it. At the Alabama Huntsville commit. Jabbed off his stick by Garrett Harford. McCary went flying into the turnbuckle to deliver a nice big check on Justin Adamo. And the Frenchman's just iced the puck. 2:16 to play in the first period. Lone Star is going to be hemmed up in their own zone for the ensuing defensive zone faceoff. IceRays up 2-1, leading the Brahmas in shots on goal, 9-6. Remember, folks, playoff shirts are now available at the team store. You can visit the team store here at the American Bank Center. Well, for inquiries, you can call the IceRays office at 361-814-PUCK. Grayson Gavin steps in to take the face-off in the right circle in the Lone Star zone. Gavin's sort of made a habit of being booted from the draw unfairly, it seems like, over the last couple of weeks. Innumerable cases last weekend in which I can recall him being kicked out of the face-off circle, even though it seemed like it was the other centerman who opposed him who was doing the majority of the jumping the gun. And it seems like that just happened again. Adamo tied up and takes Angus Scott down with him. No penalties for either side. Blake Coffey's got it in his own zone. Watched closely by Tour Linden. Grayson Gavin up to Angus Scott. Motors his way down the right half wall. Closed off by Connor Stewart. Wyatt Matthews pass just outside of the reach of Frankie Trezera. Yanni with a good heads-up spin-around move to elude the presence of Linden, who's got Trezera on his left and gives him the pass. Trezera's shot was a weak one, easily stopped by Tragge with a stick. Yanni is pestered now by Trezera. $1:20 to go in the first period. Rays up 2-1. Linden shovels it back to the line. The one-time shot from there is blocked. Owen Ferris just takes his man down. It was Trevor Wilhelm who landed on his wallet, and Gavin retaliates with a check on Ferris, who is down, and Gavin is going to be going to the box. I think he's hoping that it's just for 2 minutes, but I'm not sure that'll be the case. Owen Ferris still down in the corner on the far side. Fortunately for Grayson Gavin, he's just being escorted to the penalty box, which leads me to believe that his night is not over. At least not yet. There might be more tacked on to the penalty depending on the severity of this injury, if there is one. But right now, Lone Star's trainer, Cynthia West, is escorting Owen Ferris back to the Lone Star bench. And he appears to be all right. Owen Ferris, a very young player, younger than anyone the IceRays have. If you don't count Will Tragge, of course. A June baby in the year 2000, playing his first year of junior hockey. And for the second time tonight, the IceRays will go to the PK. We all remembered what happened last time. The IceRays were shorthanded. We'll see if they can do something like that again. Jason DeMizio scoring his first shorthanded goal of the season. And the league leader in shorthanded goals is on the ice right now for Brad Flynn. Brendan Miller directing traffic. Linden down the right side. The RPI commit drops it. Bottrell dropped it as well. Kimball Johnson now to Drew Lennon. Lennon circle to circle over to Bottrell. Yanni took a whack at it. It's sliding up to the blue line. And Lennon had it knocked off his stick by Brendan Miller. And you can just tell every time he's out there, he wants to score while he's on the penalty kill. Obviously, defending is priority number one, but Brendan Miller's so fast. He's got the fastest high-end speed on anyone on the IceRays roster, and he likes to use it to his advantage, catch teams by surprise when they're on the power play. Oftentimes, teams really neglect to put defensive players out there when they are on the power play because they're trying hard to score. And a lot of times they'll sort of shirk on their defensive responsibilities. And Brendan Miller's made them pay for that 5 different times this season. Linden's pass into the middle. A quick shot goes wide. Frankie Trezera missed the left post. Taylor's cleared it, and that's done it for period 1. No complaints from here. The IceRays got on the board first, and they got on the board last. But in between them was a goal scored by Austin Bottrell on a pretty unfortunate break for Will Tragge, who had been perfect outside of that one goal he allowed, and he has embraced by his team after a very strong effort in goal. Chad Veltri has been something of a mentor to him over the last few weeks, has given him a tap on the pads as well. You love to see that. Will Tragge stopping 5 of the 6 shots that he faced in period 1 of his IceRays debut. I'm sure he got the nerves out as well. A lot of goaltenders will tell you that they're perfectly fine after making the first save. That the first shot that they face is the one that scares them the most. And after they make that first save, then all is well, and it's all business once again. Will Tragge playing a fairly strong first period. The only goal that he did allow came off a wrist shot from Tor Linden from above the circle, the hash marks in the circles. I think it was partially blocked. It sort of fluttered over Tragge's net. He made the right play, not trying to jump way out of position to get it. And it took just an unfortunate bounce. It bounced off of one of the stanchions behind the net, ricocheted to the left side of the goal. Austin Bottrell, give him credit. He was ready for it. He was prepared for a fairly fluky bounce, and he jammed it, stuffed it short side on Will Tragge before he knew which direction the puck had bounced. So you can't really hold that one on him. Just a fortunate bounce that the Brahmas took advantage of, and Austin Bottrell bearing his 6th goal in his last 8 games. He's been red hot, and on the season, Bottrell has climbed up Lone Star's leaderboards in terms of points, nearly been a point-per-game player. The Farmington Hills, Michigan native this season. That's his 10th goal. But before that, it was Adam Kadlik who opened the scoring. Brendan Miller getting the assist on Kadlik's goal, his 2nd on the year. And it all started when Larry Youngworth delivered a big check into one of the Lone Star defensemen behind the net along the end wall. Forced a turnover. Miller spotted the puck between all the skates and bodies and flung one into the slot. Adam Kadlik used the time and space to his advantage, put the puck onto his backhand, and buried it past the blocker of Harrison Feeney, who was 7 of 9 in the opening period. And then we had Bottrell's goal, and then, just when it seemed like Lone Star could sort of shift the game into their favor, it was actually the IceRays who did that. They went to the PK, Corpus Christi, in the middle to late stages of period 1. It was 11:26. Bud Winter was given a tripping minor in his first game back. Tonight's, by the way, is Bud's 32nd game as an IceRay. His brief little stint in St. Louis with the Junior Blues intermittent. But when Bud went to the power play, and then when there were just 9 seconds remaining till he'd be let out of the box, Jason DiMizio gunned down a loose puck that was rolling ever so slowly into the Lone Star zone, and DiMizio scooped it up below the 20s logo but above the hash marks and just ripped it right through the 5-hole of Harrison Feeney to regain the IceRays lead. And there you have it, the Rays up 2-1 at the end of period 1. When we come back to action for period 2, the Rays will still be on the PK. Grayson Gavin serving a roughing minor, and I think he's probably going to be okay with the fact that he was only given 2 minutes for that penalty. It didn't really look too severe, but anytime there's a player injured on the play, you can never be too sure. Oftentimes a referee will hand down more severe punishment based on how serious the injury was. Fortunately for both parties, the injury was not that serious. Owen Ferris was okay. He was helped back onto the bench by Cynthia West, Lone Star's trainer, who's always done a great job. She's helped IceRays players before in the past as well when they needed medical attention in Lone Star for any reason. And he was skating under his own power. So it was great to see him okay. And if you're an IceRays fan, I think you have to be happy that Grayson Gavin's night will not be done. And there won't be any potential suspensions. Remember, folks, this is the absolute worst time for a player to get injured or to get suspended or for anything like that to happen, because these games, yes, every game's important. You'll hear Brad Flynn discuss that in greater detail in just a moment. But even though these games don't necessarily have any real deep playoff implications, it's still important that the team tries and plays well, because the last thing you want to do is go into the playoffs backwards, having lost, being on a 3-game losing streak, which would be possible potentially for the IceRays. And even worse yet is losing a player due to suspension or injury, which is a big part of the reason why we're not seeing Matt Acioli or Riley St. Ange in the lineup tonight. 2 of the IceRays' top players this season, both of whom have had minor little nagging things, but it's nothing serious at all with either one of them. They're just taking every precaution necessary to make sure that they're 100% ready to go for the playoffs, which is the right move. And that also obviously creates opportunities for other players to step in and show what they're made of. Tyler Love, for instance, who just played his first period as an Ice Ray. Well, here your Ice Rays head coach Brad Flynn discuss Tyler Love, Will Tragge, the return of Bud Winter, and more in just a moment. First, a few words from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll hear from Brad Flynn in the first intermission Flynnterview on the Ice Rays Broadcast Network. Till then, keep it right here, folks. We'll be right back.
The mission to make your vehicle wraps and graphics the biggest, the brightest, and the best in the Coastal Bend. Gulf Coast Graphics has been right here in the Coastal Bend since 1987, wrapping, designing, and producing some of the hottest graphics between here and those other two coasts. Gulf Coast Graphics is the industry leader and the only Feller certified wrap shop in the Coastal Bend. You might even say we're Rapalicious. Gulf Coast Graphics has the best graphics designers, the best installers, the most cutting-edge equipment in the industry, and the most innovative and creative staff around. So when you want your business to stand out, the website, GulfCoastGraphicsSite.com. The mission, to make your vehicle wraps and graphics the biggest, the brightest, and the best in the Coastal Bend. Gulf Coast Graphics wraps, makes signs, stickers, banners, vehicle magnets, and t-shirts too. Go on, we dare you to stand out in the marketplace. Call the Wrap Masters at Gulf Coast Graphics. Call 854-0213, 854-0213.
Bakery is a local retail bakery that has been in business for 25 years. They provide customers with moist, delicious cakes for all occasions, plus pies, cheesecakes, pastries, balloons, candles, and ornaments for all cakes. Give Janet's Cakery a call at 991-6212 or visit them online at janetscakery.com. Janet's Cakery opens 7 days a week. That's 991-6212.
Is the home service leader in South Texas at home or at the office with affordable prices. Want more than just your windows cleaned? Check out the Window Genie Big 3, offering window cleaning as well as window tinting and pressure washing. Window Genie is also your year-round solution for cleaning those pesky gutters. Call for an estimate at 361-792-3554. That's 361-792-3554. And let the power of the Genie work for you. Nickel is home of the Guaranteed to Sell classified ads, covering all Corpus Christi communities within a 75-mile radius. Place your personal classified with us, and if it hasn't sold in 4 weeks, we'll run it for free until it sells. Visit us in the Gulfway Shopping Center, or give us a call at 361-980-0008, or online at cc.thriftynickel.com. Thrifty Nickel, where you get nationwide coverage with hometown service. Welcome back, everyone. Again, thanks for joining us tonight on the Ice Rays Broadcast Network. You're listening to Ice Rays Hockey on Hockey TV and on YouTube. I caught up with Ice Rays head coach Brad Flynn before the game. Coach, I want to go back to last weekend against Odessa really quick. Won the first game 6-4, lost the second 3-0, which ended up confirming the team's seeding for the postseason. Not often do you see such a huge distinction in scoring between games. Was it just as simple as running into a hot goaltender, you think, last Saturday?
Well, obviously we got to give credit to the goalie. He came in and shut us out, and I thought that we had our chances to score, and we just didn't execute. But he made some remarkable saves, and I you know what? There's games where I'm really frustrated with our team's performance, even when we win. But I wasn't too frustrated with our game on Saturday. I thought that we did a lot of things well, and I think that it also proved a point to our guys that you can't rely on offense, especially at this time of the year. often, like just like in baseball with pitching, hitting, offense comes and goes like the weather, but defense, it's there. It's championships. That we lacked a little bit of urgency in our game last Saturday in the defensive zone, and we got hemmed in at times, and we got to do a better job of breaking pucks out. And I think that we got to take pride at both ends of the ice, like we did the first night. I know obviously we don't typically give up 4 goals in a game, but I thought that our defensive zone coverage and our breakouts through D zone coverage was a lot better. So, like I said, there was a lot of positives from Saturday. I thought that it was a good wake-up call to our guys. We had won 4 in a row, which is always a positive. But I also think that we can't rely on offense to win, especially at this time of the year, and Saturday.
And one of the things that's made this franchise so successful over the last couple of years has been its players and their willingness to play a complete 200-foot game. And when that's not there, the IceRays are not at their best. But like Coach Flynn just said, it was a wake-up call. A 4-game winning streak just snapped last Saturday, and we'll see if the IceRays can get on another brief winning streak heading into the postseason. Coach, lots of unfamiliar faces around the locker room and at practice this week. A number of guys whose high school and midget seasons are over now who've been coming down to practice with the IceRays and get the Corpus Christi experience. What does that say about the way that this program's grown, that so many players are traveling from all over just to get a taste of the way things are run down here?
I think it's a double-edged sword there. I think that it's a positive in terms of we're a place now where players, they want to come. They want to come not only to play the game, but they want to come to win, and they want to come to advance their career. And I also think that there's big accolades to our head scout, Mike Mondu, who's identified players and to get them down here. Obviously, where we're located, it's one of the few challenges that we have is, as a staff, it's tough to get out, and you watch a lot of games on video, so in terms of scouting, but I rely heavily on Mike. He does a great job for us. But anytime that you can see a player on the ice with your own guys, you can make a little bit different assessments. And then there's some players as well that just want an opportunity and they want to show yourself, and I always think it's the best to be right in front of the coach's eyes for those things. So the guys that came down, we probably had 8 or 9, some days 10, 11. It was actually really beneficial for us because we were able to rest some guys but still have enough tempo practice. We were able to go at a good tempo because guys weren't tired in lines and we weren't wearing guys out, so it was a good little week of recovery for some guys, but we still got our work in.
IceRays Director of Scouting Mike Mondu will be in the building tonight. He'll be observing the games this weekend. And speaking of Mike Mondu, one of the players that he's very high on that he scouted for us, Brian Cramer, we saw what he could do last weekend. His D partner for much of the season with the U18 Penguins, Tyler Love, will be debuting tonight for the IceRays. Just a brief scouting report on him, and what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, well, first of all, Brian came down last weekend. He stepped in, and the transition was extremely smooth. I thought he played a great 2 games. The one thing that I love working with Mike on is that we have the same view on players, and he knows what I like, and I know what he likes, and we've had great discussions over the years, and so I know when he's sending me somebody, it's somebody that he knows I have a lot of respect for in a player. And when it comes to Tyler, we're really high on him. He was the first player that we tendered this year. He's a very smart defenseman. He moves the puck well. Him and Brian were partners. They come from a very successful organization with Pittsburgh Penguins Elite. But we've had him out here the last couple of days in practice. Similar to Brian, he's smart. He moves the puck well. He's a very good skater. He has great hockey sense. I can tell first time I shook his hand, he's got high character. He's a good person to be around. And we're really excited to see his future with the organization. Give him a little taste of it tonight. It's probably, you take all the games that the U18s play, with all due respect, I haven't seen all of them, but you put all their fans in one rink, and it's probably going to be the same attendance that we have tonight. So it's going to be fun for him. He's going to get to play in front of a big Corpus Christi crowd, and we just want him to go out there, work hard, have fun, and enjoy the game. And there's no pressure on him at all, and he's just here to get a taste of hopefully a long career with Corpus Christi IceRays.
We talked about that a little bit earlier. Folks, you'll hear from Tyler Love in the second intermission during today's game, but we talked a little bit about how this game and tomorrow's game don't necessarily have must-win implications, which sort of makes for a nice time to debut when the pressure's not really as high as it would be normally. Coach, another player who's debuting tonight, the goaltender Will Tragge, he's been waiting in the wings for a while as the emergency backup. But he's getting his first start. He'll be playing his first game of junior hockey tonight. Just explain the protocol on how the emergency goaltender rule works for those of us who don't know, and why he's eligible to play now, and do you expect the team will be confident playing in front of him?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, Jake Acton has been a big part of our success this year, and he's had some big key wins for us this year, and he's been a great teammate. He had a groin and had to go home for a bit, and it's something that ended up steadily decreasing in health, and so at that time we had to call up Will Tragge from Livonia Stevenson High School, a premier high school team in the Detroit area. He's come down. He's just been phenomenal. He's a great young man. Happy-go-lucky, loves being on the ice. Really adapted well with our team. Their team's taking him in, and Will's a great story. He came to our camps the last 2 years. He showed extremely well. 2 years ago, he actually came down here to start the season before going back and playing high school. That goalie reminds me a lot of Manny Legacy. He's an extremely big competitor, battles hard on every puck, and he's technically very, very sound. Rob Woodell in Detroit works with him a little bit there, and he raves about him. But the thing that I love about Will is wherever he's played, he's been a winner. And he's had good numbers with the teams that he's played with, but he's won games there. And I don't think that's something that you oversee as a coach. You want guys in that position. Out late, take shots every single day, really bonded well with the guys. So I know they're going to play hard in front of him. I know there's going to be no nerves because some of the saves that he's made in practice have been very, very good. And not saying that's going to translate. Like everybody, it's the first game in the league. So again, with him, just like with Tyler, it's going to be probably one of the biggest crowds. You take all the crowds they have during the year and you combine them tonight. So, our job tonight is to make his job easy and
What a great story for Will Tragge. We're very much looking forward to it, and we all are, I think, are in agreement that he deserves this chance. The IceRays, like Coach Flynn just said, expecting a very large crowd tonight. Last season, the Friday night game before Pack the House night, the Rays were just shy of a 5,000 mark in attendance, and I'm sure that young Will Tragge is very much looking forward to his first NAHL start. With all that said, one last question, Coach. Neither of these games really has any playoff implications in any way. From a hockey standpoint, these are not exactly quote-unquote important games for either team, which is a weird position, one we haven't been in all year really. So what's the message heading into this weekend?
I'll be honest with you, and I know where you're coming from with the question. I think it's a good question because when you look at the standings, there is no playoff implications. But one thing you don't want to do going into the playoffs is limp into the playoffs, and you want to go in on the right note. And guys that are a little bit, we've got a flu bug going around right now, so they're not in the lineup tonight just because they got the flu there. Matt Acioli and Riley St. Ange. So what that does for me is that opens up opportunity. And tonight, more than any other night for the guys that are in the lineup, this is a evaluation process because from here on out, they all matter. And tonight, I look at it as it's an opportunity for each and every guy. We're not looking at it that we're missing guys in the lineup, but it's an opportunity to each guy on the ice to not only prove to themselves, but to the guys sitting beside them and to their coaches that they're ready to buy in to how we have to play in the playoffs. They're going to take responsibility for their actions, and they're going to show why they need to be in the lineup to help us be successful. And we got a lot of competitors in there, and we have a couple guys that aren't in the lineup. It's great to have Bud Winter back in the lineup. He's looked great in practice. He's a big body, and he's come back with tons of confidence. And Chris Flogger in St. Louis has done a great job with him. So we're excited for tonight. I'm excited to see how our guys come out and respond because, like I said, it's not a pressure cooker game in terms of standings and must-win situations. But as an individual, you want to prove to yourself and your teammates that all systems are going. We're trending in the right direction. We're playing urgent tonight, and we're doing what we have to do to be successful. So when we go in the playoffs, we're ready to go.
Great, Coach. Well, we just saw what the IceRays could do, having just come off a 4-game winning streak. We'll see if they can develop some sort of rhythm like that again heading into the postseason. These are the final games of the regular season, tonight and tomorrow night. The playoffs begin next weekend in Shreveport. Coach, go get them tonight, and thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
That's Brad Flynn, your IceRays head coach, and this has been Coach's Corner. We'll be back in a moment for your Janice Cakery out-of-town scoreboard update right after this. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that brief delay, but we're back to bring you second period hockey brought to you by First Title Company. That will be coming your way momentarily in about 100 seconds or so. In the meantime, let's take a look while we've got a minute around the NAHL for your out-of-town scoreboard update presented by Janet's Cakery. First off, let's start on the East Coast. The New Jersey Titans are hosting the Northeast Generals tonight. Down 3-2 at the moment. Northeast on the road with a 3-2 lead at the onset of period 3. Right now, if the postseason were to begin today, we know what the South Division would look like, but out east, it's a little bit more complicated. New Jersey would have home ice advantage if the postseason began today against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. Northeast would, right now, the 4-seed Philadelphia, who's playing in Johnstown tonight, who's been eliminated. Philadelphia's the 1-seed. That game tied up 2-2 at 6:45 to go at First Summit Arena in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Cooley Region also eliminated, hosting the Springfield Junior Blues, who are up 1-0. By the way, folks, the playoffs have been set. What has not been determined yet throughout the NAHL has been the seedings of the brackets yet. There are still a few 3 teams that could become the 2 seeds and a few 4 seeds that could become the 3 seeds, and etc. But every team that will be eliminated has been eliminated, if that makes any sense. Austin hosting the Bismarck Bobcats. They are one of those teams. Evan Cholak, the lone goal scorer early in period 2, up at the Riverside Arena in Austin, Minnesota. The Bruins have a 1-0 lead over Bismarck 3 minutes into the second. The Minnesota Wilderness hosting the Brookings Blizzard. Gino Lucia, their only goal scorer for Minnesota. 7:54 to go in period 1. 7:54 into period 1. Lucia scored that game right now in between periods 1 and 2 at the Northwoods Credit Union Arena in suburban Duluth, Minnesota. The Topeka Roadrunners hosting the Amarillo Bulls in what will be their final series of the 2017-18 season. Alex Peterson, Gleb Murdazan squaring off, both with a couple of goals for Rocky Russo and the Bulls. Both of those teams have been eliminated from the South Division postseason playoff race. Amarillo, the 5 seed, Topeka, the 6th, will not be playing for the Robertson Cup this offseason. this postseason. The Shreveport Mudbugs, the Odessa Jackalopes, the 1 and 3 seed respectively in the South, playing each other right now up at the Ector County Coliseum in West Texas. Mike Weber scoring first for Shreveport, just 3:51 into the game. His first goal as a Mudbug, answered by Peter Miko halfway through the first period. Minot up 1-0 hosting the Aberdeen Wings late in the first period, and it's a 2-0 score in favor of the Minnesota Magicians hosting the Janesville Jets at the Richfield Ice Arena in suburban St. Paul. That out-of-town scoreboard update has been brought to you by Janet's Cakery. In the meantime, we're back for second period IceRays hockey presented by First Title Company, and we're underway. Remember, the IceRays still have the carryover time to serve on the penalty called against Grayson Gavin, of which about half a minute remains, and it's just been cleared all the way down the length of the ice by Garrett Harford, which means that Lone Star is really down to one last gasp on their second power play of this game thus far. Tour Linden, who assisted with the primary helper on Austin Bottrell's goal, gets the return from said Bottrell and then feeds it up to Kimball Johnson, who walks the blue line and redistributes it off the left side. Linden's shot skitters wide. It was blocked by an IceRays skate. Pinballs to Hall, who angles it off the half wall too far outside of the reach of Miller, who would have had a clean cut 2-on-1 with Kimball Johnson, the lone man, back had it reached him. Adamo brought down from behind. Good jab of the puck by Kalen Taylor. Grayson Gavin scraps away for it in front of the Lone Star bench. Here comes Miller, swerving his way over the Brahmas blue line. Miller will twist one down behind Lone Star's net. The pass is outside of the reach of Tyler Love. Making his IceRays debut tonight, the U18 Pittsburgh Penguins product. You'll hear from Tyler in the second intermission of tonight's game on Hockey TV and on YouTube. Offside, the call against Corpus Christi. That offside whistle's been brought to you by Ad Alliance. We're a minute and a half into the second period of this contest. 2-1 your score in favor of the IceRays. Adam Kadlik, Jason Demizio, both scoring back in period one. Austin Bottrell, Lone Star's lone tallier. The faceoff will take place on the near side on Hockey TV. Neutral zone draw. Aiden Spellacy lines up against Adam Kadlik, the 2-8s. Won by the 8 in orange. Again, folks, these orange jerseys are in honor of, they're in support of No Kid Hungry. They will be auctioned tomorrow night following the game at the bottom of section 112 at a live post-game jersey auction. It's Connor Stewart. Delayed penalty upcoming against Corpus Christi. Bobby Esposito's got his arm in the air. A high sticking call made against Corpus Christi, and already the Rays will be going to the box for a third time. Their first penalty kill led to a shorthanded goal scored by Jason Demizio. There's not been a tally since. High sticking the call against Adam Kadlik, somebody who's not really gone to the box all that much since arriving in Corpus Christi. Just 8 PIMs in 15 games played leading up to today. He's at 10 now, and the faceoff will be to Will Tragge's left side. This penalty kill is brought to you by Republic Services. Connor Yanni, your Dillard's March Player of the Month, held a rim one around the wall, kept in the zone by the Swedish defenseman Anton Sandberg, given off to the left circle for Montembo, rather Adamo's one-timer was blocked. Sandberg holds at the line and gives it down to Biondo, who risks a shot. Tragge with a kick save and made a second stop, it looked like, at the side of the net, as it's tied for possession given by Biondo to Sandberg, who returns it to Biondo now, and the Brahmas captain intended to pass one into the middle for Adamo. It was picked off and cleared down the length. The IceRays get a fresh 4. The Brahmas trying to get a fresh 5. They catch the IceRays in the midst of a bad line change. Coffey reaches out his stick. Loose puck battle in front of the crease, and it's stopped by Tragge as it pinballed on net. Kicked out his left leg and has made use of his pads tonight. Will Tragge, proven to be a very competent lateral skater. Brad Flynn, for those of you who heard the Flynn review during the first intermission, he compared him to Manny Legacy. Not the biggest goaltender, but he's aggressive. He always battles for loose pucks, and you see him go out there and challenge. He knows that he doesn't have the size, so he has to use his speed and cut down angles to the best of his abilities. He sort of reminds me a little bit as a more local, I guess, comparable. Alex Camaro with the Odessa Jackalopes, a pretty similar type of goaltender. Tour Linden down to Bottrell. Two of them responsible for Lone Star's only goal in this game up till this point. Linden gets it on the edge of the right circle at the outer hash marks. Returns it now to Kimball Johnson, who steps into the deep slot. Slap pass now to Linden. His shot goes well wide. He tried to pick the corner near the right elbow of the net. Misfired. Gets it again. Gave it over to Lennon, whose pass bounces around into the high slot. Glove down, but picked off by Linden, who didn't let Gavin clear it. Buttrell has his stick checked by Blake Coffey. Coffey is the one who ended up losing his stick, so now it's a 5-on-3.5. Johnson's drive off the outside of the left post. Kimball Johnson can really bring it, as he just showed. But the IceRays have cleared it. Blake Coffey able to get his stick back. But he decided to just skate to the bench instead. So Blake Coffey's stick is still down there in the IceRays zone below the goal line. Lone Star resetting with time winding down on their power play. 10 seconds remain on the penalty called against Adam Kadlick for high sticking. In the meantime, here's Adamo wheeling with it. Gallops his way out to center, gains the blue line. The puck slips through the skates of Halford. Adamo, right corner, puts on the brakes and feeds Sandberg. Right point. Adamo gets it back from him. His pass goes off the stick of Halford. Matthews turns it into the IceRays zone once more. The Rays improved to 3 for 3 on the Republic Services penalty kill tonight. It wasn't until last weekend that the Rays were beaten on were allowed a power play goal. For the first time in March, the Odessa Jackalopes were the only team in March who were able to score a power play goal against the IceRays, whose penalty kill has been absolutely outstanding over the last month and change. Sandberg is ridden into the half wall or the corner wall, I should say, by Matt Novo, whose stick is tied up in his paraphernalia. In the meantime, it's Trevor Wilhelm banking one off the sideboards on the near side. Chase Pletsky bounces it outside of the reach of Spellacy, who will do his best to nullify the icing. He succeeds. Wilhelm is checked, but puck pops free, and Yanni will advance it up the right wall. Matt Novo's backhand pass is on the tape for Noah Roof. Steps in over the blue line, pulls the trigger from the right circle, stopped with a blocker save made by Harrison Feeney, who's made his first save of this second period. We're nearly a quarter of the way through. The IceRays have been shorthanded for at least half of the second period so far. Emac Bentley charges down the left wing, pops one up to Owen Ferris. Good to see him back on the ice. Rosenberg makes a good defensive play, just misses on the intended pass for Angus Scott, who will outrace Stewart to the puck. Feeney tapped it along so as to not allow it to slide into the most dangerous area of the ice, and been cleared off the glass up past Rosenberg out to the neutral zone. Tyler Love's got it into the red line. Takes a check by Chase Pletsky, but he got rid of it in time. Tyler Love given an awakening to what the NAHL South Division is like. It's a very physical division and a very physical league overall, and he's already taken two pretty good-sized hits. In that last shift alone, he heads to the IceRays bench. Kalen Taylor hops on in his stead. Gets the puck at the line. Coffey's wrist shot blocked by Zenas. Fluttering slowly towards the goal, picked off by Michael Montembeau. And now it's Trevor Zenas. Coffey's got a turn. Trezera's right on top of him. Coffey goes down to his knees, falls down behind the net near the end wall. And Grayson Gavin will start it out of his own zone. Gavin up now to Bud Winter. Squeezed off by Wyatt Matthews, who couldn't advance past him. Tried to go wide around the half wall. Gavin will tap it back to the point. Long shot. Kick saved by Feeney. Wasn't expecting it. Caught him by surprise at the last moment there as Youngworth's shot goes off the side of the net. Youngworth will spin it back to Kalen Taylor at the left point in front of his bench. Matthews ends up with it. Has his pocket picked by Adam Kadlick. And a stick handle in a phone booth. He's surrounded by both Trezera and Matthews. Lost it to the latter of the two, and now it's a five-man scrum behind the goal line in the Lone Star zone. Not been a lot of whistles in this second period. It's been moving along rapidly here so far. We're already nearly 7 minutes into it. 2-1 your score. Same score line as we had when this period started. Coffey is given the puck by Tragge behind his own net. Tragge 9 for 10 so far in his IceRays debut. Winter resecures possession. Youngworth taps one along. Good touch pass. Miller puts on the brakes, feeds one over. It was Kadlick rather, not Bud Winter. And Biondo will spring Buttrell on his way. Yanni lunging out his stick. Drop to Linden, who fires. Blocker saved by Tragge, who scrambles over. And it's kept out of the net. Nice save on the quick shot by Tour Linden. Offside the call against Corpus Christi. Tour Linden, somebody who started this season expecting to play with the Lincoln Stars of the USHL, was one of the last cuts from Cody Chupp and company up in the U-Show, and he was welcomed by Dan Wildfong and the Lone Star Brahmas with open arms down here in the NAHL South. Speaking of, Dan Wildfong is not here, folks. I haven't seen him. He's not on the Lone Star bench, and I didn't see him in the locker room before the game either when I went to drop off Lone Star's line charts. The assistant coach, Justin Hale, in his first year, sort of just taking over the reins behind the Brahmas bench. as you enjoy this Kiss Cam brought to you by Vela Dental Centers. Please take a moment to enjoy a few words from our sponsors for the next 30 seconds until we come back.
Just improve your overall fitness, then train with a professional at Sports Fitness Solutions. Former IceRays player and current team strength and conditioning coach Jeff Pelucio can help you reach your goals with a specific program built just for you. Choose from one-on-one or group training sessions. Sports Fitness Solutions can help you lose weight, increase energy, build muscle, and get you feeling better today. Call Jeff with Sports Fitness Solutions today at 774-0874. That's 774-0874. And train like the IceRays do.
Trevor Wilhelm shot it directly into his own bench, and his fellow St. Louis native Bud Winter catches it in his glove. Wilhelm putting his wheels and his smooth skating abilities on display just moments ago. The IceRays would like to give a shout out to the Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse of the Coastal Bend for sponsoring tonight's game. Neutral zone face-off right at the IceRays logo, won by Corpus Christi, and Trevor Wilhelm will gun it down behind his own goal line. 12 1/4 to be played here in the second period. The Rays still up 2-1 as we were when we started things in period 2. Pletzky trying to change that, but he ran into some traffic in the form of Connor Yanni, who makes a break for it up ice. Yanni with an absolutely stellar month of March. Unable, however, to keep that puck alive at the right point. Demizio's pass sort of fluttering on him. Emac Bentley chasing it down and shooting from a tough angle. Chest save made by Will Tragge, whose biggest saves, he's had a couple of big saves in this game, both of which have been against Tour Linden. And now there's going to be a scrap. It looks like breaking out in front of the penalty boxes. Wyatt Matthews giving a big check on Garrett Harford, which did not sit too well with Grayson Gavin or Julian McCary, who's right now tangled up with Drew Lennon. We see Halford going down, Gavin taking exception to it. And the penalty is going to be against Wyatt Matthews for the original hit that he delivered on Garrett Halford. Seems like Halfie's all right. And for just the second time in this game, the IceRays will be going to the power play. The IceRays unable to load up with that 5-man forward unit, that uber power play that they've sort of constructed over the last couple of months. Riley St. Ange, a very important component of that man advantage and that top unit, not available. So in his place, Brad Flynn has decided to go with the hard-shooting defenseman, Blake Coffey, who's got it now behind his own net. Coffey on the breakout up to Grayson Gavin. Rink-wide pass on the tape, off the skates, onto the tape eventually. And Adam Kadlik tied up a 6-man scrum that's equally divided along the far half board. It's jostled up to Coffey. Given out to Grayson Gavin. Youngworth, touch pass just outside of the reach of Coffey. The right idea, but the pass was to his right by a few feet. Coffey wheels with it behind his own net. Tour Linden harassing him. Linden will head to the Lone Star bench. Julian Biondo hops on in his stead. Halford pivots and drives. He protected the puck, having dipped the shoulder, gained some separation, but now he's pinned up to the corner boards by Connor Stewart on the far side. Miller will send one around the wall. Kadlik is there. Miller assisted on the opening goal of this game, which was scored by Adam Kadlik in the early stages of period 1. We're approaching the midway point of this hockey game. The IceRays with about 45 seconds remaining on this AEP Texas power play. Biondo trying to get a shorthanded goal of his own. Demizio having scored one for Corpus Christi back in the first period. Montembeau loses the puck to Garrett Halford. Spelsey hops right off the bench and charges in. Losing the puck. Montembeau fires. Blocked. Coffey might have just saved a goal. Montembeau's shot was earmarked for the left post, and not sure Tragge would have been able to stop it with his blocker. It didn't look like he would have been able to see it. Wilhelm to Scott. Flings it up to Connor Yanni. Slap pass to DeMizio. One-timer is on. Stopped by Feeney with the pads. Coffee again, rather Wilhelm. Yanni now. Halford. Feeney, or rather Tragge tapping his stick, signifying the end of the penalty called against Wyatt Matthews, who hops back onto the ice. The Brahmas are back to full strength, and the IceRays drop to 0 for 2 on the AEP Texas power play, but they maintain possession in the attacking zone here. We've crossed the halfway point of regulation. The Rays still up 2-1. Shots are even at a dozen apiece. Zenas motoring out with it in front of the benches. With a float one to himself, and we've got another penalty. It looked like Robert Esposito put his arm up for a roughing call. And who will be the culprit here? On behalf of Flint Hills Resources, the IceRays would like to thank all servicemen and women and military personnel for attending tonight's game, for their service to our country and the Corpus Christi community. Penalty's going to be called against Corpus Christi. Bobby Esposito, probably more strict on the whistle than your average NAHL referee. Well, 6 penalties have been called, 4 against the IceRays so far. It's going to be Garrett Harford, one of the IceRays' most important penalty killers, who won't be available for the next couple of minutes, which will be a very critical couple of minutes for the IceRays, still protecting the narrowest lead you can have. Tour Linden, Austin Bottrell, the men responsible for Lone Star's lone goal, right out there to take the offensive zone draw and get their power play started. This IceRays penalty kill is brought to you by Republic Services. Linden circle to circle. Lennon's shot never got through, and it's been cleared down the length. Harrison Feeney well out of his net. He will leave it for Kimball Johnson. Johnson, sort of a Lone Star equivalent to Blake Coffey, very hard shooting, and likes to quarterback things on the power play. Bottrell steps in between the circles, pulls the trigger, misses the left post. It was a changeup. Coffey behind the net, pestered by Montembeau, who picks his pocket, puts it in front. Linden couldn't pull the trigger there. Johnson steps into the middle and gives it to Lennon. Johnson gets it back, tees it up, sets up Linden. Tour Linden. Down to the goal line at the corner. Backhand shot by Bottrell, stopped by Tragge, who scurries over quickly to cover the other post. Montembeau is checked by Miller. Lunges out his stick to try to pry it free and knock it out to the blue line, but was unsuccessful. Linden back to Johnson again. Kimball Johnson with a hard shot through traffic, blocked, and they score. It's Michael Montembeau picking up the loose puck after it was blocked in the slot between the hash marks. Montembeau firing one over the glove hand of Will Tragge, and the Brahmas have just tied the game. It's 2-2. Lone Star with a power play strike to snap the IceRays' perfect night on the PK up till this point. And once again, folks, we've got a tie hockey game. Montembeau's goal, his 8th of the season. And his 4th against Corpus Christi. Trevor Wilhelm turns away from Aiden Spellacy. The IceRays are going to like to strike quickly here. Lone Star did that to them when they opened the scoring back in period 1. Lone Star responded with a goal just a minute and 3 seconds later to tie the game back up. Wilhelm up to Novo, who redirects it, his fellow veteran. It looks like he actually probably didn't touch it, or this would not be an icing call. There have not been a lot of those calls made in this game. It's been a very fast-moving game. It's just 8:20, and we're already well past the halfway point of the contest. It's been rolling around along pretty quickly. Whistles have been few and far between. This icing call has been brought to you by Hard Knock Sports Lounge and Grill. For tomorrow night's game, the IceRays would like to thank their sponsors CCRV, Church's Chicken, Cats 21, and The Storage Place for Pack the House night tomorrow. If you're planning on coming to the game tomorrow, folks, we recommend that you do so promptly and in a timely manner. The parking just even tonight has been pretty much madness all weekend long, and we expect it to be even worse for tomorrow night's game. And the IceRays have, for the second straight time, just been called guilty of icing. Another Hard Knock Sports Lounge and Grill icing call. But That's what the IceRays recommend that you do, folks. Come here. Don't wait until 7:05 to show up. Get your seats, get settled in, and get ready to enjoy the last game of the regular season. Last year, on Pack the House night, the IceRays came just a couple hundred away from reaching the 7,000 mark. Wilhelm will backhand one up to Wyatt Matthews near the blue line. Connor Yanni takes over behind his own net, the alternate captain, who's played in every single game for the IceRays this season. He's only got one more to go. Same can be said for Garrett Harford. Incidental contact between Dakota Kincannon and Wyatt Matthews, both of whom are let off the hook. Wilhelm will fetch it behind his own goal line. Trevor Wilhelm angling one off the side wall. Novo is checked by Matthews, who's had a very physical game so far. Petrell intended one for Linden. It went past him. Pletsky, the Bowling Green State commit, finished his check on Coffey, just sort of gave him a little nudge into the end wall. And Connor Yanni will again assume command behind his own net. 2-2 your score. Petrell off the interception, trying to center one. It bounces in through the 5-hole of Will Tragge. It looked like it was Tur Linden who just sort of found the puck in the blue paint and backhanded it between Tragge's pads. And Lone Star has its first lead of the game. That a goal and assist for both Linden and Petrell in this game so far. Petrell centering. Bit of a broken play, not exactly the way that they drew it up, I'm sure, but it's never a bad play to get the puck on net or towards the net, and Linden just sort of spotting it in the crease, the most dangerous area of the ice, and backhanding it between Tragge's pads. That's the area the IceRays really have to hunker down and protect. Tragge shuts the wickets this time to make a save on the shot from Lennon from the left point. And Blake Coffey spots his man motoring down the right side. It's Garrett Harford, who's joined by McCary. The pass is just outside of his outstretched stick. Now DeMizio will turn one back to McCary, stepping off the boards with it. Shooting, blocker save by Harrison Feeney. Owen Ferris unable to get around Harford, who centers. McCary will shoot. I don't think Feeney ever saw it, but it fluttered over the net. DeMizio angling one back to the boards. Good little surge here by the IceRays in their third line. Nice shot by DeMizio, but it sailed over the net again. Harford setting him up, having set up McCary earlier in the same shift. Connor Stewart. And his pass deflect off of DeMizio's blade. And Grayson Gavin will try to catch Lone Star and take advantage. They've got some pretty winded players out there, folks. Courtesy of the Garrett Harford line, they really kept them pinned in there for a good 50-plus seconds. Zenas turns it over. Players make bad mistakes when they're exhausted, and the Brahmas certainly are right now. Winter cutting into the slot, shooting, stopped by Feeney, has no clue where it is. Hacked out to the slot. Love with a shot, pad save made by Feeney, and that attack has fizzled out for now. But the Brahmas have just iced the puck. We'll see if Justin Hale considers using his timeout here on the Lone Star bench. Boy, a couple of times I've nearly called Tyler Love Andrew Lane, a small puck-moving defenseman for the Shreveport Mudbugs, who plays a pretty similar type of game, it seems like, at least from my vantage point, to Tyler Love. And the name looks pretty similar on the jersey. The numbers are pretty similar as well, 13 and 15. I have to get used to that one. Gavin with a tie-up on the draw. Lone Star's same five are out there, and they're exhausted. One-timer off the pads of Feeney, who's trying to get a whistle. The IceRays intentionally not shooting to his glove side and trying to keep these gas Brahmas out there as long as possible. Gavin swivels into the zone, sets up Winter. One-timer! What a pad save made by Feeney, who just robbed Bud Winter, stopping him from scoring his first goal as an IceRay. The puck flutters over Tyler Love's stick. Lone Star still has not been able to get a line change underway, but it looks like they'll probably be able to here. And a pair of exhausted defensemen, Drew Lennon and Connor Stewart, finally skate back to Justin Hale and the bench. Bud Winter delivering a nice check after losing the puck to Anton Sandberg. Gives another check. Puck springs loose. Youngworth slid one over, hoping to get it to Cadlick. Knocked away by Biondo on the back check. Youngworth spinning off with possession, bouncing it back to the line. Excellent keep by Yanni, who sets up Wilhelm. Left point with a wrist shot. Never got through. Blocked by Matthews' skate. Biondo. Spellacy is checked by Youngworth. Puck fluttering up to Chase Pletsky. 1 versus 1. Loses possession while diving. Rather, that was Emac Bentley. While diving, he managed to get a shot off, but didn't really give Tragge any difficulty. And now Miller will try to cut to the inside. Lost possession to Sandberg. Wilhelm cuts it off a second time. 3:18 to go in the second period. Rays trailing for the first time in this game, courtesy of Tour Linden. Youngworth fired one to no looker between his skates from the backhand, and now Pletsky and Youngworth throwing fisticuffs right now behind the Brahmas bench, which has been dislodged. And Kyle Larson separating them quickly. Both of them have full metal cages, folks. They're not even allowed to fight, but that didn't stop them. Skillful attempt made by Larry Youngworth. He wasn't looking at it. He just sort of shoveled it from his backhand. A no-look shot through his skates. Chase Pletsky, Larry Youngworth, both of whom have full metal cages. Throwing jabs left and right at each other. They're going to have a seat for a couple of minutes. We can assume that it's just going to be roughing. I don't think that was enough to warrant fighting majors, and based on the fact there's 3:11 left, I don't think fighting's going to be called on either one of them since they're in the boxes. Late in the second period, the Brahmas, having just gained their first lead of this hockey game. The assist from Austin Bottrell, the goal to Tour Linden, which is his first against the IceRays this season. Seemed like it was only a matter of time. Had 11 assists, but no goals. For some reason, it was just snake-bitten in that department until now. So we remain with 5 skaters aside here. We haven't gone to the 4-on-4 yet. The puck was cleared directly out of play by Lone Star's Austin Bottrell from his own zone. The faceoff will stay in Brahmas territory. The Rays again out shooting Lone Star 18-15, but trailing 3-2. Same could have been said last Saturday night when they were shut out by Odessa. Still the only team to shut the Rays out in this building all season. And that will remain the case because unless Lone Star can potentially do it tomorrow night, fingers crossed. But the IceRays managed to outshoot the Jackalopes, but it still fell 3-0. Bottrell sliding one over to Linden. Wobbles a pass back to the blue line for Kimball Johnson. Eludes Dakota Kincannon. Linden gets the pass. Mishandles it. Good presence by Yanni, who feeds Kincannon up the middle. Kincannon is met by Bottrell on the back check. He will start it back down the right side. Austin Bottrell with a couple of points tonight. Losing it to Matt Novo. 2.5 to play in the second period. Brahmas leading the IceRays 3-2. The penultimate game of the 2017-18 regular season. Ooh, and then Novo looked like he went awkwardly tumbling into the end wall. Excuse me, that was Dakota Kincannon. Sort of laboring a little bit back to the IceRays bench. Drew Lennon swivels across the Rays blue line, dropping it to Trezera, who didn't get much wood on the shot. And Tragge will just hang on and take a whistle. 2:04 to go in the second. 3-2 Lone Star. Linden's goal, which gave the Brahmas their first lead of this game, coming at 13:37, his 15th strike on the campaign. The faceoff will be to Will Tragge's right. Kyle Larson, the linesman, drops the puck. It's been fired around the wall and cleared by DeMizio from his backhand. McCary returns it to Halford. McCary's on his right. Halford delays and shoots. Tried to go low glove side. Feeney able to make the glove snag. Brief South Division out-of-town scoreboard update. The Odessa Jackalopes managed their first lead of this game, or their game. Peter Miko with both of their strikes, coming at 10:44 and 33-28. Odessa leads 2-1 over the Shreveport Mudbugs. The Topeka Roadrunners still trailing. Now it's 4-0. Amarillo's doubled their lead since we last checked. Billy Duma and Nick Stuckless with goals for Rocky Russo and the Amarillo Bulls. Kalen Taylor's shot pinballs off a leg. Connor Stewart blocked it with the inside of his right skate. Aiden Spelsey dropping it back to Julian Biondo, who gains the blue line onside. He's met on the back check. Connor Stewart's going to have to go back and retrieve it in his own zone. McCary back to Coffey. Time slowly winding down here in the second period. Period which has only seen goals scored by one team. The IceRays trying to change that. Bud Winter's shot was blocked. Winter had one of his best chances to score all season earlier in this period. He was set up with a beautiful pass. Got good wood on the one-time shot, but Feeney made an excellent right pad save. Anton Sandberg fires it up to Julian Biondo. The only player this season to score a 3-on-5 shorthanded goal against the IceRays. Anton Sandberg. Skate-to-stick reception now by Michael Montembeau. Matthews. Pass misfired to Owen Ferris. Rays quickly trying to catch the Brahmas in the midst of that counterattack, but attacks fizzled out, and Montembeau awaits the pass on the right side. Ferris will chip it into the right corner himself and pursue it. He's checked by Rosenberg. Emac Bentley turning with it. Goes down. Scott sends it off the half wall, kept in the zone brilliantly by Kimball Johnson. 22 seconds remain in the second period. Centering pass, the one-timer from Trezera misses the net. And now it's Zenas twisting it back to Lennon. Fed one over, one-time drive by Linden. Bounces off the back glass, and the Rays have cleared it out to the neutral zone. They might be able to get one last shot here as time winds down in period 2. Gavin tees it up, fires, missed high over the crossbar. And that's done it for the second. 40 minutes in the books, 2/3 of this second to last regular season game of the 2017-18 campaign. Now in the books as well. Lone Star striking twice in that 20-minute segment to achieve their first lead of this game. Michael Montembeau getting one and Tour Linden getting the other. Linden with a goal and an assist. The same can be said for Austin Buttrell, who assisted Linden on the Lone Star's go-ahead goal. Brief college update, or college hockey update, folks. We're in the Frozen Four now. That's now in the books. It's down to the national championship game. The Frozen Four was yesterday. It took place in St. Paul, the home of the Minnesota Wild, the XL Energy Center. The University of Minnesota Duluth taking on Ohio State. The Buckeyes and Hobie Baker Award nominee Matthew Weiss, who's also an IceRays alum, I should add, ended up being defeated, however, by the UMD Bulldogs, who will play Notre Dame in the national championship game. Notre Dame able to eke out Michigan by a 4-3 final score at the XL Energy Center yesterday night. That was the second of that two-game back-to-back at XL. Michigan actually struck first. They had a pair of goals very early in the second period. Were leading 2-0, and Notre Dame with 4 of the next 5 to sort of come from behind and seize that one. So the national championship game will be played between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs. And it will be played on Saturday, April 7th at 6:30 p.m. So unfortunately, for those of you folks wanting to watch this game, it'll be difficult to watch them both unless you can get 2 TVs going. But we'll be sure to keep you folks updated throughout tomorrow night's broadcast as to the progress of that national championship game. Unfortunately, there are not any IceRays alumni playing in either of those games that I'm aware of, but college hockey, Division I college hockey, is the goal, the immediate goal of these players, and it's always fun to see the pinnacle, the best of those teams going at it in the national championship. Denver, by the way, the defending national champs, are defending no longer, and we'll have a new one here this season. In the meantime, Lone Star has just seized its first lead. Tour Linden, Michael Montembeau with strikes in period 2. A couple of unanswered from Justin Hale and the Brahmas, and Lone Star leads 3-2 over the IceRays with 40 minutes in the books here at the ABC. It's the second to last game of the 2017-18 regular season. Tonight's game has been brought to you by the Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse of the Coastal Bend. We hope you're enjoying your Friday night, folks. The IceRays again trailing the Brahmas 3-2, your score here at the bank. When we come back, we'll have an exclusive interview with IceRays tender defenseman Tyler Love. That will precede your Janet's Cakery Out of Town scoreboard update and more in just a few moments. Keep it right here, folks. You're listening to IceRays Hockey on Hockey TV and on YouTube.
is a local retail bakery that has been in business for 25 years. They provide customers with moist, delicious cakes for all occasions, plus pies, cheesecakes, pastries, balloons, candles, and ornaments for all cakes. Give Janet's Cakery a call at 991-6212 or visit them online at janetscakery.com. Janet's Cakery opens 7 days a week. That's 991-6212.
The home service leader in South Texas, at home or at the office with affordable prices. Want more than just your windows cleaned? Check out the Window Genie Big 3, offering window cleaning as well as window tinting and pressure washing. Window Genie is also your year-round solution for cleaning those pesky gutters. Call for an estimate at 361-792-3554. That's 361-792-3554. And let the power of the Genie work for you. Nickel is home of the Guaranteed to Sell classified ads, covering all Corpus Christi communities within a 75-mile radius. Place your personal classified with us, and if it hasn't sold in 4 weeks, we'll run it for free until it sells. Visit us in the Gulfway Shopping Center, or give us a call at 361-980-0008, or online at cc.thriftynickel.com. Thrifty Nickel, where you get nationwide coverage with hometown service.
To lose weight, get fit, or just improve your overall fitness? Then train with a professional at Sports Fitness Solutions. Former IceRays player and current team strength and conditioning coach Jeff Pelucio can help you reach your goals with a specific program built just for you. Choose from one-on-one or group training sessions. Sports Fitness Solutions can help you lose weight, increase energy, build muscle, and get you feeling better today. Call Jeff with Sports Fitness Solutions today at 774-0874. That's 774-0874. And train like the IceRays do.
Along with your favorite IceRays wherever you go by linking up to the IceRays social media arsenal. There are more ways to follow the action than ever before, with pictures, news, videos, and exclusive content, including interviews and giveaways. Give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at Corpus Christi IceRays, and on Twitter, Vine, Periscope, and now Snapchat at Go IceRays. The IceRays social media arsenal, the ultimate coverage of IceRays hockey.
It's a luxury of bayfront living at Sendera Bay Point. Located on Enos Jocelyn Road, Sendera Bay Point is newly renovated with upgraded units featuring granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and designer lighting. Enjoy an on-site masseuse, waterfront yoga classes, water aerobics, fitness boot camps, poolside towel service, Saturday morning homemade resident breakfast, and of course, stunning bay views. Visit SenderaBayPoint.com for more details. Mention this ad for a waived application fee. That's SenderaBayPoint.com. Radiology and Imaging is the official imaging center of your IceRays. The Best of the Best award winner 7 years in a row provides diagnostic imaging services in a caring, comforting patient environment with leading-edge imaging technology. Their extensive expertise in medical imaging allows them to not only give physicians and patients the very best in service and care, but your IceRays as well. So the next time you need imaging done, call Radiology and Imaging at 853-4503. That's 853. Island Villa Apartments offers residents a prime location that leaves you minutes away from shopping, entertainment, restaurants, and beaches. Residents will discover a life of splendor with 2 pools, a workout facility, outdoor grilling needs, along with comfortable apartments located just minutes from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Island Villa Apartments are located off SBID and Nile Drive. Call Island Villa Apartments today at 994-1630 and set up your personal tour. 994-1630. Island Villa Apartments.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the IceRays Broadcast Network. Alex Von Kodel here. Hope you're enjoying your Friday night. I had the chance to catch up with IceRays tender defenseman Tyler Love. Tyler, first off, congratulations on getting the call. You've been practicing with the team this week. Just give us your thoughts on everything so far, the team, the organization, the city, the arena, etc.
The team's been great. All the guys have been really nice and really helpful, kind of showing me around what to do. The practice was great. It was good pace, good tempo. The city's beautiful. I love it down here. I love seeing the beach. It seems like a really good place to play.
Were you able to pick up on any differences in styles and differences in pace and stuff like that from the practice here based on compared to your experience in Pittsburgh earlier this season?
Yeah, it's definitely a little faster. You got to think just a second faster, but still the same game and still the same system, so I try to keep it simple.
There you go. Well, Tyler, just give us a scouting report on yourself. What type of player do you try to be out there, and in what areas do you feel you can best contribute to the team's success going forward?
I consider myself a two-way defenseman. I think I can definitely help on the back end, but I can also jump in the rush whenever we need it, try to get some offense going.
For sure. Well, we, as you know well, we've been shorthanded defensemen, especially. Welcome back, folks. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the IceRays Broadcast Network.
Definitely help on the back end, but I can also jump in the rush whenever we need it, try to get some offense going.
For sure. Well, we, as you know well, we've been shorthanded defensemen, especially recently with a number of very important players going down, and we're really looking forward to seeing what you can do here tonight and this weekend. And somebody who also came down and impressed last weekend was your friend and defensive partner for much of the year with the U18 Penguins, Brian Cramer. He came down and played last weekend, played very well. I'm sure you've spoken with him since. How have you liked playing with him this season, and did he have any tips for you heading into tonight?
I love playing with Brian the whole year. He was a great defensive partner. We always knew where each other were going to be on the ice, so that was great. And he just told me to keep it simple and have fun, enjoy the moment.
There you go. Well, speaking of having fun, Tyler, it's an exciting atmosphere around here right now, as you well know. This is the last weekend of the regular season. We're expecting a crowd north of 4,000 probably tonight. But there aren't really any must-win games left for the season for either team, the IceRays or the Lone Star Brahmas. The playoffs and the seeding has all been set. Does that sort of set the stage for an ideal night to make a debut, knowing that there aren't any true dire circumstances here at stake?
Yeah, it takes a little pressure off your back, but I think you need to play the same way no matter if it is a playoff game or just a regular season game. So that should calm my nerves a little bit tonight.
Absolutely. Well, it is your first game of junior hockey, and you know it's a step up, but you seem prepared for it. What to you is the single most important thing to keep in mind as you head into tonight's game?
Just to keep it simple. Don't do anything I'm not capable of doing. Just play my game the way I know how.
Well, from everything I'm told on you, if you do that, then you'll have a very successful debut tonight. Tyler, really appreciate your time and good luck.
All right, thank you.
That's Tyler Love, tender defenseman, number 13 tonight for your Corpus Christi IceRays. He'll be partnered up with defenseman Ryan Rosenberg. This has been your second intermission report. We'll be back in a few moments with your out-of-town Janet's Cakery scoreboard update and more right after these messages.
Say we're Rapalicious. Gulf Coast.
Is Corpus Christi's newest place for fun. 30,000 square feet of trampoline park with foam pits, slam ball, a ninja courts, and dodgeball. A place to let your inner spirit soar. Show you've got game. Harness your inner ninja and burn up the competition. For parties from 5 to 500, kids, corporate, and adult team building, it's the #1 place for fun in Corpus Christi. Get out, get active, get air. 4701 South Staple Street in Corpus Christi.
Business with cell phones?
We're unable to take your call at the moment. Please leave your name, number, and a brief
When time is money and the message is urgent, you need two-way radio.
Unit 5, return to yard immediately.
Safe, reliable, distracted, driver legal two-way radio from A&B Communications with built-in fleet tracking.
Units 14 and 22, assist Unit 5 at well site 108.
Hand units, vehicle-mounted base stations, fleet tracking, on-site or wide area communications for business. Online at abcom.net. That's abcomm.net. When you need to
Talk business.
Local retail bakery that has been in business for 25 years. They provide customers with moist, delicious cakes for all occasions, plus pies, cheesecakes, pastries, balloons, candles, and ornaments for all cakes. Give Janet's Cakery a call at 991-6212 or visit them online at janetscakery.com. Janet's Cakery opens 7 days a week. That's 991-6212.
Home service leader in South Texas, at home or at the office with affordable prices. Want more than just your windows cleaned? Check out the Window Genie Big 3, offering window cleaning as well as window tinting and pressure washing. Window Genie is also your year-round solution for cleaning those pesky gutters. Call for an estimate at 361-792-3554. That's 361-792-3554. And let the power of the Genie work for you. Okay, welcome back, everyone. 3.5 minutes or so remaining here in the second intermission before we bring you third period action of IceRays hockey. Lone Star Brahmas had that period too, belonged to them. They scored twice unanswered. Michael Montemble striking on the power play. Tour Linden giving Lone Star its first lead of this game, scoring his first goal against the IceRays this season in the process. And it's a 3-2 hockey game in favor of the visitors. Let's take a look at our Janet's Cakery out-of-town scoreboard update real quick. New Jersey trying to pull away from Northeast. It looks like that game just about in the books. 4-3, the unofficial final in New Jersey tonight. That game is over. The Titans have won against the fourth-seeded Northeast Generals. The Johnstown Tomahawks, Philadelphia Rebels still deadlocked in a 2-2 stalemate. That game probably destined for overtime, possibly. About 7 minutes remaining in the third period. Springfield Junior Blues on the road in Cooley Region, Wisconsin to take on the Chill, leading 3-2. Over the now eliminated Cooley Region Chill. First time in years the Chill are not going to the postseason. Austin Bruins up 2-1 over the Bismarck Bobcats at the end of period 2. The Minnesota Wilderness leading 4-2 over the Brookings Blizzard right now. Gino Lucia getting things started. And then Landon Langenbrunner scoring for the Minnesota Wilderness, which standing now as the game-winning goal for the Wilderness. CJ Regula's new home squad. We're up 4-2 at the Northwoods Credit Union Arena tonight. The Odessa Jackalopes have just been tied by the Shreveport Mudbugs. A pair of goals by one player on both teams. Mike Weber doing so for the Mudbugs, Peter Miko doing so for the Jackalopes, and it's a 2-2 hockey game out at the Jack Shack tonight. Michael Weber made his debut for Shreveport against the IceRays, and it's not been a Mudbug for very long, but is already impressing Carlos Zernis and company with a pair of goals tonight on the road at the Jack Shack. The Minnesota Magicians leading 4-1 over the Janesville Jets. Minot now trailing Aberdeen, having come from behind. Riley Murphy and Colton Fletcher each scoring for Scott Langer and company. And Aberdeen leads 2-1 pretty late in period 2. That wraps up your out-of-town scoreboard update presented by Janet's Cakery. We've just got about a minute and a half left before we bring you third period hockey here at the ABC. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. Okay, well, welcome back, folks. This is it, period 3 of 3. This third period of IceRays hockey is brought to you by First Title Company. The IceRays trying to come back after they started the game fairly strong, had an excellent first period. Lone Star scoring twice unanswered in the second. And right now they have maintained that lead, 2 unanswered second period goals. The IceRays trying to answer them here at the start of period 3. We're back underway at the American Bank Center again, 3-2 your score. Multi-point nights for both Tor Linden and Austin Bottrell, and that has been Justin Hale's go-to line here this evening. We figured it would be with both Stephen Ipri and John Russell out of the lineup, the primary scorers for Lone Star, and without them, someone's got to pick up the slack, and so far tonight it's been the Linden and Bottrell combo. And now Drew Lennon tying up his man into the far corner. A 5-man scrum takes place, favoring Lone Star as a result. They end up with the puck, and Julian Biondo will wedge one up to Justin Adamo. Now Tor Linden down the right wing. Trying to center for Adamo, bounced away from him. Overskated by DeMizio, who slams on the brakes, feeds it off the sideboards. And Kadlik will just flop one back into the Lone Star zone below the goal line. A minute into this third period, 3-2 your score in favor of Lone Star. Sandberg will hack it out of his own zone. Bounces away from Bottrell. Coffey leads all IceRays defensemen in goals this season with 7. Cam Dykstra, the linesman, had a blowout in the neutral zone. Sandberg turns to go fetch the puck. Kadlik gives him a ride into the end boards. Adam Kadlik, who opened the scoring tonight, trying to twist one in front. The last time the IceRays were wearing specialty jerseys, Adam Kadlik scored his first goal as an IceRay back on Hart Night on February 24th. That's been his first goal as an IceRay since then. He's also lit up the assist column since coming on board for Corpus Christi. Adam Kadlik this season with 9 assists. Owen Ferris down the left side. Dumps it in, goes in after it himself. Kalen Taylor able to outrace him to it. Coffey with its head up, makes the safe play, angles it off the glass, and it slides down into Lone Star territory. Icing being waved off by both linesmen. Drew Lennon, Alabama Huntsville commit, up to Austin Bottrell, who springs Trezera, hoping to feed one ahead for Michael Montembeau. It went off an IceRays stick. But Winter hacking away for it. It bounces on net. Tragge kicked it aside. Tyler Love clears one. And Lennon backpedaling now in his own zone. 85-foot wide D-to-D pass for Kimball Johnson, who rattles it back into IceRays territory. 2.5 minutes have expired here in the third period. The Rays trailing the Brahmas right now 3-2. Soccered out of the zone by Bud Winter. Grayson Gavin trying to punch one up. Gets it to Scott. In close quarters with Tor Linden, or rather Kimball Johnson defending him. Spellacy gets it on the outlet pass from Frankie Trezera. Aiden Spellacy, one of the few players remaining on this Lone Star roster that was part of their championship team last season. Matt Novo down the left side, joined by Gavin as the trailer. Novo crisscrosses with him. Has a stick check by Anton Sandberg and is knocked into the half wall emphatically by Sandberg after the poke check was made. Connor Stewart taking his sweet time behind the Lone Star cage. The former Jackalope outlets it up the right side. Emac Bentley saucered a pass in midair, knocked down by Novo, and ricochets out to center. Noah Roof will drop it. Here comes Kincannon back to Roof right side. This shot is waffle boarded away by Harrison Feeney. Emac Bentley egging on Matt Novo in the neutral zone, then skating away from him, pursuing the puck instead. Roof's pass bounces up and off the stick of Kincannon, who blasts it on goal. Feeney with a glove save. If I'm not mistaken, that might be our first whistle in the third period so far. Nearly 4 minutes into it, 3-2 Lone Star, your score. Shout out to my dad and his wife Connie tuning in to this game back home in Hampshire. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Love you, miss you, and hope all is well back home. The IceRays out shooting Lone Star right now, 21-15. It wasn't really all that bad of a period. They had their opportunities back in the middle stanza to score. Bud Winter probably chief among them. He might be kicking himself tonight. Had he gotten any elevation whatsoever on that one-time drive from the left circle, it would have been in the back of the net, no question. He did 90% of the battle. He got himself in the right position. He unleashed at the right time. He got the perfect amount of lumber on the shot. Taking a one-timer, folks, is an art form. It takes years to master it. And the only thing missing from that shot was just a little bit of elevation. It would have gone over the pad and into the back of the net. IceRays lining up on this offensive zone draw with 3 players on the blue line. McCary between the 2 defensemen. Wrist shot from the line by Taylor. Never got through. McCary will one-hand it into the corner on the near side. Kimball Johnson spins it around the end wall. Clockwise out to Justin Adamo. Slick move by Tour Linden. An excellent breakout pass. Boy, he's had a heck of a game. Adamo over the blue line to Bottrell. Out into the corner for Adamo. Lost possession. Halford flings it out, and Kimball Johnson has to turn and race after it. He's pursued by his fellow Texas native, Garrett Harford. Johnson now checked by DeMizio. McCary unable to make anything happen or generate any sort of attack from behind the net. He was surrounded by 3 dark sweaters. IceRays in the midst of a line change. Had that puck gone off of Garrett Halford's skate, probably would have been called too many men on the ice. Blake Coffey turns with it. We're a quarter of the way through this third period. The IceRays trying to erase the deficit that was built upon them after period 2 came to an end. A pair of Lone Star goals within a minute and a half or so. Puck deflects into the Brahmas bench, and we get a whistle stopping play. Brace yourselves, folks, for the Whataburger Minute of Madness here at the ABC. In the meantime, we'll be back in 30 seconds and let you know the winner. Keep it right here, folks. You're listening to IceRays Hockey on Hockey TV and on YouTube. 3-2 Lone Star, your score.
Weight, get fit, or just improve your overall fitness? Then train with a professional at Sports Fitness Solutions. Former IceRays player and current team strength and conditioning coach Jeff Pelucio can help you reach your goals with a specific program built just for you. Choose from one-on-one or group training sessions. Sports Fitness Solutions can help you lose weight, increase energy, build muscle, and get you feeling better today. Call Jeff with Sports Fitness Solutions today at 774-0874. That's 774-0874. And train like the IceRays do.
The winner of our Whataburger Minute of Madness Challenge will be announced at the next stoppage of play, and we'll be sure to let you know who it is. Tyler Love assuming Youngworth's role, Youngworth wide on the right wing. IceRays going with a few unorthodox face-offs lately. Will Tragge with a bit of a misstep behind his own net. It's not going to cost him. Montembeau puts it off the corner boards. Rosenberg reversed it. Bounces away from Tyler Love, who's smacked by Montembeau. Youngworth guides one into Lone Star territory, overstepped by Matthews, who's checked by Miller. And the IceRays open the scoring off a play pretty similar to this one. It was even containing the same personnel. Youngworth behind the goal line, loose puck corralled by Miller and centered for Adam Kadlick. He was the first player to score. Since then, there have been 3 strikes from Lone Star and another one from Corpus Christi. 14:15 to go in the third period. The Brahmas still up 3-2. Youngworth saucers one back into the Brahmas zone. Given calmly from Stewart to Matthews, whose pass reaches Pletsky. Matthews has had a really physical game tonight. Connor Yanni, the other number 3. The Dillard's November Player of the Month, Connor Yanni. 10 assists in 11 games played, including an 8-game point streak over that span. Winter motoring down the right side, hoping to center for Angus Scott, goes off a stick. Bud Winter put it behind the net again for Scott, who centers. Winter shoots, he scores! Bud Winter has just scored his first goal as an IceRay! Games Bud Winter played at the start of the 2017-18 season. He never managed to find the back of the net. In this game, he was robbed by a lunging right pad save made by Harrison Feeney. He was called by the NA3HL's St. Louis Junior Blues as they were making a deep postseason push for the Fraser Cup. He took them all the way to the championship game, and it was heartbreaking for him, I'm sure, being a St. Louis native, losing that game. If I'm not mistaken, he was even on the ice when the overtime game-winning goal was scored by Juwan Davis. And former IceRays head coach Justin Quenville, the coach of the NA3HL's Metro Jets, who won the Fraser Cup. And that's got to be some consolation for Bud Winter, the NA3HL tender for the IceRays. Offside called against Lone Star. This offside whistle has been brought to you by Alliance, and we get a stoppage of play.
The winning section of our Whataburger Minute Madness is section 1-1-5.
Noah Roof finished his check into the end wall against Connor Stewart. 7 minutes into this third period, Bud Winter has just tied the game for Corpus Christi with his first goal as an Ice Ray moments ago. Angus Scott with a brilliant pass from the goal line to set him up. Will Tragge holds on with a long point shot, covers it up, does not allow a rebound, and has kept this game tied. Will Tragge making his IceRays debut tonight. He has been sort of an understudy to Chad Veltri since he came here back in mid-March. And has just taken everything in as much as he can. Learned from Chad Veltri, who's took his Pittsburgh Penguins U18 team to a championship game when he was playing midget hockey and has been one of the best goaltenders in the NAHL this season. Division I college commitment to Niagara University. Obviously, a lot can be learned from a goaltender like that, and Will Tragge plays a different style than Chad, but has still taken in everything that he could in a very short amount of time to try to improve his game as much as he can. We heard Brad Flynn talk about it in the Flynn interview in the first intermission. He's just a great guy to be around. Sort of a happy-go-lucky kid who loves being at the rink and loves learning and staying out long after practice is concluded to keep improving his game. And he has more than earned the right to start here this evening. Being very patient, just waiting in the wings for his chance to shine. After the season's over, he's going to go back home. He's still got to finish high school. He's a senior in high school, folks. He's only 17 years old. And tonight he's faced a different type of test than any of the tests he's had to take over the last 4 years. In and out of the classroom. Offside the call against Corpus Christi. A neutral zone faceoff, I believe, will ensue. Actually, it looks like the puck might have gone from the Brahmas zone into their bench. So the faceoff, my apologies, will stay in Lone Star territory. We're approaching the halfway point of this third period. The IceRays have the lone goal of period 3. 3-3 your score. Bud Winter with his first goal as an Ice Ray. Coming at 6:22 into the third period. Cadlick lines up to take the draw, beats Adamo cleanly. Tyler Love from the blue line. Feeds it to Brendan Miller. Cadlick wanted to unleash a one-timer. Miller elected to try to go down to Youngworth instead. It flutters out of play once again. The way the winner of tonight's Whataburger Minute of Madness Challenge, section 115, directly across from where the press box is located, directly underneath the main hockey TV camera. Puck bounces off the back end of the Brahmas cage. Youngworth steals it from Zenas, is upended. It looked like he was kneed by a much larger Justin Adamo, and Youngworth is in some pain. Just given the sort of hard-nosed style that Youngworth plays. He just loves going full steam ahead, shifting his body left and right. He's very agile, and he goes into those areas, those heavy traffic areas like that. And just given the nature of his play style, things like that tend to happen to him. I think he's been kneed more often than any other player, and it's a very painful injury to sustain and to absorb, and hopefully he's okay. I think Brad Flynn right now is asking Bobby Esposito why it's not more than 2 minutes, kneeing a very dangerous penalty. But I don't think there was any malicious intent on the part of Justin Adamo. He's given the benefit of the doubt by Bobby Esposito, and a 2-minute minor is the ruling. The IceRays back to the power play, the likes of which they've not converted tonight, but could the third time be the charm? We'll see. Trevor Wilhelm up to Garrett Harford on his off wing. And we'll drop it to Angus Scott, who assisted on the lone goal this period. Halford up to Yanni, mid-slot, side of the net. Demizio's one-timer. What a save by Feeney, lunging over to his left. Demizio angling it back to Yanni again, near the Dairy Queen logo. Gives the return. Demizio to Yanni, over to Wilhelm. Left point back to Yanni in the deep slot. Wilhelm to Demizio. Excellent movement by this IceRays power play. It's been cycling it around very crisply. Wilhelm. Demizio. Rays staying around the perimeter. Two men screening Feeney. The shot from Wilhelm is stopped by Feeney with the chest. Yanni centering. Scott didn't get much wood on that shot, if anything. The pass wasn't quite in his wheelhouse, and the Rays will try to catch the Brahmas in the midst of a partial line change here. Linden got it down to Wyatt Matthews, who clears it out to the red line. Blake Coffey kicks it down to the ice, settles it, and gives it back to Cadlick. The Rays get every member of that number 1 unit out there now. Miller, one hand trying to jab it up, takes a slash at the stick of Biondo. That will be a penalty against the IceRays captain, who is checked from Wyatt Matthews. After the fact, Biondo hauled over, or hunched over, I should say, in pain a little bit after sustaining that slash by Brendan Miller. And Brendan Miller really swung that stick. He looked like Paul Bunyan. He's going to pop a squat, and I think Wyatt Matthews for the retaliation. Now, if Wyatt would have just let that unfurl and kept his distance, the Brahmas would have eventually gone to a man advantage from it, but because of the retaliatory hit on Miller, I think these teams will stay the way they are. Right now, the Rays with 45 seconds remaining on their AEP Texas power play, going up against yet another extremely solid PK. And that's just the way the South Division is this season, folks. You can never really be too sure whether to discredit the power plays in this division or whether to give credit to the penalty kills or whether it's a combination of both, but every single penalty kill in the South outside of Topeka is in the top 10 in the league. Shreveport's first, Lone Star fourth, Odessa fifth, Corpus eighth, Amarillo ninth. The face-off is to the right of Harrison Feeney. Johnson rolls it around the end wall. Julian Biondo. His pass just meets Montembeau. No icing as the Brahmas are still on the PK. Connor Yanni. Coffey down the left side. 25 seconds remain on this power play. Biondo cuts it off and shovels it up in the direction of Montembeau, who will get to it first. Puts it in front. Biondo had it slip through his reach and will wheel up to the top near the deep slot. Guide one into the left corner. Lennon, checked by Coffey, loses possession. 9:10 to go here in period 3. IceRays have tied this game, are now looking to jump up into the lead. They had the lead twice, and Lone Star has tied it twice. Bud Winter checked multiple times by Trevor Zenas. The crowd definitely wanting a penalty. Based on their reaction, Lennon takes a spill behind the Lone Star net. Cadlick goes down to a knee as well, rather Gavin. Lone Star improving to 3 for 3 on their PK. Wilhelm's shot never got through. Tour Linden's stick blocked it en route, and now it's Zenas weaving over the blue line. Looks like that's an offside, and it is. That offside whistle has been brought to you by Ad Alliance. I think we're going to head to our second and final regulation media timeout. It looks like that is the case, so we're going to be back in 60 seconds, folks. Please enjoy these words from our sponsors until we come back. 3-3 your score here at the American Bank Center.
Of Bayfront living at Sendera Bay Point, located on Enos Jocelyn Road. Sendera Bay Point is newly renovated with upgraded units featuring granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and designer lighting. Enjoy an on-site masseuse, waterfront yoga classes, water aerobics, fitness boot camps, poolside towel service, Saturday morning homemade resident breakfast, and of course, stunning bay views. Visit SenderaBayPoint.com for more details. Mention this ad for a waived application fee. That's SenderaBayPoint.com. And Imaging is the official imaging center of your IceRays. The Best of the Best award winner 7 years in a row provides diagnostic imaging services in a caring, comforting patient environment with leading-edge imaging technology. Their extensive expertise in medical imaging allows them to not only give physicians and patients the very best in service and care, but your IceRays as well. So the next time you need imaging done, call Radiology and Imaging at 853-4503. That's 853-4503.
No roof with a backhanded clearing attempt that was kept in the zone by Kimball Johnson, whose long shot barely stopped, looked like by the blocker of Will Tragge, who redirected the shot wide. In the meantime, here comes Noah Roof in transition. He will put it around the end wall in the Lone Star zone. Matt Novo's got it right corner, and his shot is gloved by Harrison Feeney. Kincannon again getting a little bit feisty in the crease. Dakota Kincannon, former New Jersey Rocket, Warwick, New York native. 98-born player, somebody who might return for next season to the IceRays. A team that's become a very veteran-heavy squad. The IceRays just loaded with players born in the year 97. It's half their team. Brendan Miller, Larry Youngworth, Grayson Gavin, Angus Scott, Jason Demizio, Garrett Harford, Julian McCary, Connor Yanni, Ryan Rosenberg. None of those players will return for next season. Lots of roster spots opening up. Aiden Spellacy down the left side has a step on Wilhelm. He drives, he shoots, he missed the right post. It rattles back out to Bud Winter, who chips it to himself and takes it down the left wing side. You can just see the improvement in Bud Winter's game since returning. Wilhelm, right circle, threw it off the blocker. It looked like a Feeney. It's fed down to Winter from Yanni, who will give it back to him. Yanni up to Gavin now at the top of the umbrella. Wilhelm's shot redirected off of Stewart's stick and out of play. 7.5 to play in the third period. 3-3 remains your score. Rays out shooting Lone Star 25-17. The Brahmas voided their head coach Dan Wildfong this weekend. I'll be sure to get with Lone Star's broadcaster Nick Merrick and ask what gives. I was never told he wouldn't be here. I knew that John Russell and Stephen Ipri wouldn't be here, along with a couple of members of the Lone Star Brahmas media team. No photographer and no graphics designer. Megan Kim, Rebecca Bing, Dan Wildfong are, for whatever reason, tuning into my feed instead of Nick's. Thanks for enjoying the game, folks. Hal Larson has switched circles. He's going to drop the puck in the right circle now, in the right dot. Noah Roof unable to beat Montembeau on the draw. We'll scale it around the half wall up the far side. Trezera got it up to Zenas. Sends a backhand shot off the side of the net. Tragge got a piece of it with his stick. Zenas bounces dangerously in front, steered aside by Tragge and out to Coffey. Works it up the wall, up the far side. And Zenas outnumbered between a couple of orange sweaters. Novo works it out to as far as Sandberg. Kimball Johnson goes in after it. 7 minutes remain here in period 3. We've got a tie game on our hands as Novo charges down the right wing. Flings it into the corner and goes after himself. Roof finished his check on Ferris. Emac Bentley. Another self-pass. That's how Lone Star's been entering the zone really all game. Kincannon. Closed off by Owen Ferris this time. Taylor will reorganize. Galen Taylor having opened the scoring to last weekend's series against the Odessa Jackalopes with a snipe from above the left circle. Matthews hoists it out to neutral territory. Batted down by Ryan Rosenberg. The SUNY Fredonia commit, having made his decision a couple of weeks ago. Those of you who have not read the story on that, it's on the IceRays website at goicerays.com. Just under 6 to play in the third period. 3-3 your score. Rosenberg turning with it. Pletzky in close quarters. McCary to Halford. Attempted a return pass. It might have gone off the referee, Robert Esposito's skates. Wyatt Matthews, quick movement up the right side toward Linden. Couple of points tonight, a goal and an assist. He's a fight shy of the Gordie Howe hat trick, but he's not somebody to drop the gloves. DeMizio tried to go circle to circle for Halford. Broken up by Austin Bottrell's stick. According to the timekeepers, Austin Bottrell's got a 3-point night, a goal and 2 assists. I can only recall 1, but that's the case. Good on him. He's been red hot of late, folks. Austin Bottrell, his last 7 games, he's had a dozen points. If you count this one now, 15 in his last 8. He's been Lone Star's hottest player. He's somebody that Odessa is going to have to close in on come the postseason. Brennan Miller finished his check on Bottrell, but he got it off in the nick of time. Connor Yanni. Gets it back now from Wilhelm. Miller gets rid of it, and Sandberg is there to intercept. Nobody really committing too much offensively right now. Both teams sort of gently prodding over the last few minutes ever since Bud Winter tied the game. Linden moves away from Kadlik, both of whom have seen time in the USHL this season. Linden with Lincoln and Kadlik with Sioux City. Bottrell drops it to him. Wilhelm smacks it from in between his skates. Youngworth will fling it on net, bounces on Feeney. It's turned off the side of the net by Kadlik. Scott blocking the clearing attempt and firing off the blocker of Feeney. Back to the line it goes. The slap shot ricochets oddly around the slot. Biondo is there. He sends it past the outstretched stick of Kalen Taylor, and Blake Coffey, after having wheeled back in his own zone, misfired on the pass up to Angus Scott. Both of whom have identical goals and assists on the season, Scott and Coffey. Offside, the call against Lone Star. This offside call has been brought to you by Ad Alliance. We've got just over 4 to play in the third period. Again, we're still tied at 3. Corpus Christi with the edge in periods 1 and 3. Lone Star with a couple of unanswered in period 2, and here we stand. Right now, Odessa has just regained the lead. Peyton Franti giving them the go-ahead goal very early into the third period. About 8.5 remain in that contest out at the Jack Shack, and then up in Topeka. That is a blowout of epic proportions. 6-0 the score in favor of the Amarillo Bulls. Anton Sandberg scales one back down behind the net. Munton Bull gets it at the edge of the left circle. Sandberg, D-to-D for Wyatt Matthews, whose shot is blocked by Bud Winter. Winter seems to be a lot more confident now with the puck and in skating. He seems to be faster, and his shot looks like it's improved as well. I know he hasn't been gone for very long, folks, probably only a couple of months, but I think it was right around the trade deadline when probably less than a couple of months, probably a month and a half. It was right around the trade deadline when St. Louis called and asked for him. And having been one of the big dogs up there for the NA3HL's St. Louis Junior Blues, seems like, I know it's a small sample size here tonight, but it seems like that has worked wonders on his development. He's definitely going to be somebody, a member of the IceRays' future going forward. Bud Winter, a 99 birth year, expected to be a top 6 player on the IceRays next season. A top 6 forward, I should clarify. Jason DeMizio. Wilhelm behind his own net for Yanni now. Halford to DeMizio. Pursued closely by Chase Pletzky, who's given a nice screen by Connor Yanni, and DeMizio ends up with it. Rolls into Adamo. A couple of big boys. Adamo at 6'6", DeMizio at 6'3". Stewart. Pletzky. Lone Star taking absolutely no chances, getting rid of the puck almost the second they touch it. while in the defensive zone. One of the Ed Hicks Nissan 3 keys of tonight's game was disrupting Lone Star's breakouts because they are very adept at getting rid of it just in time. They wait for the pressure to form up, they wait for the forechecker to be right on top of them, and then they get rid of it. Connor Yanni keeping the puck alive at the right point, sending it behind the net. Youngworth guns it down. He's checked by Connor Stewart. Cadlick stealing it from Kimball Johnson. 2:10 to go in the third period. This game could very well be destined for overtime. Rosenberg turns back, rolls it along for Kalen Taylor. Up to Youngworth, who slaps it back into the attacking zone. Johnson's got it. Winter takes a spill but gets back onto his skates. Scott trying to block the clearing attempt by Stewart, but he couldn't do it. No icing called either as the puck wobbles its way over the IceRays goal line. Wow, Taylor surrounded by both Emac Bentley and Austin Bottrell. Got away from both of them with possession of the puck. Lennon feeds it up to Tour Linden. Kalen Taylor, a very smooth skating defenseman who's made strides, no pun intended, this season with the IceRays in his first year of junior hockey. Somebody who very well could go in the early stages of the USHL draft over the offseason. Drew Lennon with $1:10 to play in the third period. Austin Bottrell over the blue line. His shot from above the right circle is blocked by Connor Yanni's stick, and it flies off the protective netting and out of play. Just over a minute remain in regulation time. The IceRays have really turned the shots on goal in their favor. They've tipped the scales in that department. There's no question about that, but Harrison Feeney quietly having a pretty solid game. He's made some really spectacular saves. Arguably the biggest of which came against Bud Winter, who was actually robbed twice against him, but the third time was a charm for him. He redeemed himself and scored his first IceRays goal. That's the last time that we've seen the lamp lit, and the only goal scored in this third period thus far. Neither coach using his timeout. Demizio steals the puck from Biondo. Could get a 2-on-1. He's joined by McCary. Demizio shoots at the post. Rolls back to Wilhelm, who whiffs on the shot. Turnaround shot by McCary. Goes wide to the left post. Yanni from the left point sends it back behind the net. McCary's got it. McCary slipping away from a couple, shoveling a backhander on goal. It's gloved by Harrison Feeney and held. Jason Demizio scoring his first shorthanded goal as an IceRay back in period 1 to regain Corpus Christi's lead. It was right when it looked like Lone Star might have been able to turn the game into their favor. They had just scored a goal. They were going onto the power play. Demizio said, nope, we're keeping the momentum on our side. Buried one through the wickets of Harrison Feeney. And on that 2-on-1, he didn't even really think about passing to McCary. He was shooting that puck. I think he knew he was shooting it from the moment he picked it up in the neutral zone. And he's got a very hard, heavy release and an accurate wrist shot. Wilhelm, long wrist shot blocked by Kimball Johnson. Wilhelm with a keep. Another shot that missed the net. Was blocked by the knees of Matthews and cleared off the glass. Out into the neutral zone. Spellacy loses it. Brendan Miller starts the counterattack. Slides it over. Youngworth has to reach out his stick. Puts it behind the goal. Cadlick twisting it in front of the net, but it's intercepted. Taken by Tour Linden out of harm's way. Linden will take a check from a smaller Larry Youngworth. Linden with 2 seconds to go. Time winds down in regulation. Onside, but time's expired, and the whistle blows. 3 periods of hockey, not enough to decide a winner. And the outcome will be decided in this game either by a sudden death goal or by a shootout. The IceRays in overtime games this season are 7-3. They've been very strong in the sudden death stanza. However, in shootouts, it's been a different story. Shootouts have not been the IceRays' forte. They're just 2-5 in games that have gone to a shootout. So, the IceRays, make no mistake, will be doing what they can to end this game right now. A lot of teams that have a lot of shootout specialists, they'll sort of try to milk the clock. They'll try to wind time down as quickly as they can. They'll try to just hold on and play for a shootout and just play defensively and try to shut everything down and not really pressure. But the IceRays folks are not one of those teams. And Brad Flynn is going to be sending out a few players with a killer instinct in overtime games. Right now, again, 7-3 in games decided by a sudden death goal. Overall, in games that have gone longer than the 60-minute regulation span, the IceRays are 9-8. That combines games ended by overtime and shootouts together. The last time the IceRays went to overtime was in Shreveport on Friday, March 23rd. They would end up winning that game, one of just 2 shootout victories the Rays have had this season. Both of which have come against the Mudbugs, I might add. Grayson Gavin, Larry Youngworth, Blake Coffey. Countered by Tour Linden, Justin Adamo, and Drew Lennon. 3-on-3 hockey now underway. And Adamo slowly carries it back into his own zone. Lone Star, a team that's certainly going to be more content to play for a shootout than the IceRays will be, I imagine. They know how dangerous Corpus Christi is in the 3-on-3. Tour Linden down the left side. A 2-point night already. Loses the puck to Youngworth. Be careful not to accidentally slip it into his own net. He drops it to Blake Coffey, who picks up all kinds of speed. Gets away from Adamo and motors down the left side. Blake Coffey behind the goal line now. Scored a 3-on-3 game-winning overtime goal on his 20th birthday this season, back on January 27th in Odessa to split the series. The puck ends up going into the Lone Star bench. Not of play. We get a whistle and a stoppage, and for the first time in the sudden death frame, they'll change him up. Brad Flynn going with Adam Kadlik and Brendan Miller. Connor Yanni on defense. The faceoff will be in the Lone Star zone. When the IceRays went to overtime, they ended up getting a full 2-minute long 4-on-3 power play. A power play which is very rare in and of itself, much less a full 2-minute long one. But they were unable to convert. They would win the game all the same in the shootout, which ended up clinching their postseason appearance out in Shreveport. Spellacy stops. It's pass outside of the reach of Bottrell. Matthews carries it back to the blue line and feeds it to Bottrell. Bounces it back to Matthews, who's watched every step of the way by Connor Yanni. IceRays' top shutdown defenseman this season. Leads the team in blocked shots. And leads all defensemen now with points in the month of March. Bottrell on the takeaway, moves in and shoots. Excellent lateral save made by Will Tragge. Moving over to his left, kicking out the left pad, and robbing the red-hot Austin Bottrell. The Rays on the counterattack to win the game. Miller drops it off to Yanni, and Bottrell catches him on the back check. Commences another transition attack. Bottrell fed one over. Here's a chance. They score. It's Connor Stewart slipping it through the 5-hole of Will Tragge. And Lone Star has spoiled this Pack the House weekend Friday night, and this excellent crowd will leave this building dejected. That's the nature of the 3-on-3, folks. A glorious grade A scoring opportunity on one end of the ice very frequently is followed by an equally glorious scoring opportunity on the other side of the ice just seconds after. That's part of what makes 3-on-3 hockey so great, but also part of what makes 3-on-3 hockey at times, like now, so heartbreaking. Will Tragge making his IceRays debut tonight, given all kinds of stick taps and bumps and fist bumps from his teammates. But a sad or unfortunate way to end for him. His first game in an IceRays uniform, and he really had some solid saves tonight. But he was unable to lock down the win, unfortunately. So as we get ready to have our Brazelton Homes post-game skate, let's wrap up this game in a little bit greater detail, give you one last Janet's Cakery out-of-town scoreboard update, give you our 3 stars of the game, and let you folks be on your way. Starting with our out-of-town scoreboard update. It was a busy night around the NAHL for just about every team. It was their second to last game of the regular season tonight. New Jersey held on for a 4-3 win on home ice against the Northeast Generals. The Philadelphia Rebels also winning 3-2. They were on the road tonight. They beat Johnstown at First Summit Arena. Johnstown will try to split the series on home ice, their last home series of the season tomorrow. Cooley Region Chill made an effort, but they were unable to tie the game. Former IceRay Andy McGlynn with a goal, 6:41 into the third period. Springfield holding on, however, the visiting team to win in La Crosse, Wisconsin tonight, 4-3. Will be going for the sweep tomorrow. The Brookings Blizzard in Minnesota tonight against the Wilderness, unable to muster up a comeback despite a pretty valiant effort in the third period. Outshooting Minnesota, scoring a goal, 3:14 into the third, but couldn't complete the comeback. 4-3 the final in favor of the Wilderness. The Austin Bruins with a barn burner 6-3. Former Amarillo Bull scoring Simon Morberg for the Bismarck Bobcats, but it was not anywhere near enough, and it was a 6-3 final in favor of the Austin Bruins tonight on home ice. Also their second to last game this season. Amarillo held on for a 6-0 a 6-0 blowout over the Topeka Roadrunners. Goals scored by 5 different players, five different players. Alex Peterson scoring twice, Gleb Murtazan, Billy Duma, Nick Stuckless, and Trey Bagwell all lighting the lamp for Amarillo. Odessa with a narrow 3-2 advantage over the Shreveport Mudbugs with time winding down in that game. Peyton Franti's goal still holding as the game winner, which he scored 1:19 into the third period. The Minnesota Magicians with a 5-1 victory over the Janesville Jets tonight. The Minot Minotauros hosting the Aberdeen Wings, 2-1 the score in favor of Aberdeen. Riley Murphy and Colton Fletcher each scoring in a second period comeback for Aberdeen right now. That game is 6 minutes old in the third period. That wraps up your final Janet's Cakery out-of-town scoreboard update. 3 stars of the game. Well, this is a tough one, folks. But I think we're going to give the third star of tonight's game to Bud Winter. He really impressed me. He's somebody who I looked at tonight and thought that's somebody who's improved a lot over the last couple of weeks. In the short time he was gone, he's looked like he's gained a lot of confidence, and he's been moving the puck better. Seems like he's faster and more confident with the puck on his stick. He's skating better, and he just seems more confident out there. And he was rewarded with a goal. He had 3 really strong opportunities to score. Put 2 really strong shots on net. He was robbed a couple of times by Harrison Feeney, but he was finally able to redeem himself in the third period to tie the game, force overtime. The Brahmas would eventually win 4-3, but he will be tonight's Sports Radio Corpus Christi third star of the game. Our second star, I think, should go to Tour Linden. What an excellent performance by him, a goal and an assist. The first one he wasn't credited with because it was given to Owen Ferris, who wears 91, not 19. Just confusion on the part of the timekeepers. And then Austin Buttrell had a 4-point night, including an assist on the game-winning goal. He also opened the scoring for Lone Star tonight. He is tonight's Sports Radio Corpus Christi first star of the game. Well, thanks so much for joining us, folks. Really appreciate having you on. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast in spite of the outcome. Once more, Lone Star with the overtime win. 4-3 the final score tonight in favor of the Brahmas, who have just won their 37th game of the season, up to 84 points in the South Division standings. The IceRays dropping to 27, 23, and 9, 63 points now on the campaign for Corpus Christi. Again, points are irrelevant at this point, but it's just unfortunate the Rays couldn't come away with the win to thank this excellent Frosty Friday crowd here that we had on hand at the ABC. We expect an even bigger one on hand tomorrow. Again, it's Pack the House night. For tickets, folks, if you have vouchers, bring them to the IceRays box office or the American Bank Center box office on Resaca Street. They are redeemable starting at 5:30. If you don't have your tickets yet, you can call the IceRays office tomorrow, 361-814-PUCK. The office hours on game days end at 3 o'clock, so be sure to call before then. That's it for now, folks. We hope to have you either at the rink with us or on board on the air tomorrow night. The IceRays will be closing out the 2017-18 regular season tomorrow on Pack the House night. Till then, thanks again, everyone, and so long.